Daddy. don't get even a single thing from everything I just listed done. They don't let me sleep inside the house. Oh, and when they do let me bathe, it's once a week in the dirty bath water after they're all done.
What the hell am I reading? Are they seriously making you do all that? Oh my god! And they think you being their daughter-in-law justifies all this?
Right, but Bessie always says, what would have been the point of letting you marry into the family if you don't fulfill your womanly duties to the household? That's what they think daughter-in-laws are for, I guess.
What a disgusting, small-minded, outdated way of thinking. Where is Henrik in all this? Didn't he say anything?
Henrik? No. He's useless. He just accuses me of not making enough effort to get along with his mom. He says I'm not trying hard enough. That's literally all I ever get from him. I gave up on counting on him for anything a long time ago.
I can't believe this. Oh, this can't be happening to my daughter. Oh, you poor, poor thing. I can't believe Bessie's treating you like this. Oh, she's evil, plain and simple. And to think Heinrich turns a blind eye. I'm so disappointed in him. I was sure he'd take good care of you.
Whenever we go out, like to the supermarket or something, Bessie's super friendly. It's like she's my best friend all of a sudden. But when we're at home, it's like she's a completely different person. Henrik just blindly does whatever she tells him to. His little brother and his wife live with us too, but that just means I have 2 more people to cook and clean for. I can't take this anymore, Mom. I want to come home.
Becky, where's everyone right now? Is there anyone in the house with you?
No, it's just me. They all went on vacation together.
What? On vacation? And they left you behind on your own?
Yep. They still don't acknowledge me as part of the family because I'm the daughter-in-law. It's a daughter-in-law's job to stay behind and look after the house. Once you start completing the housework and your job to an acceptable degree, we'll acknowledge you as part of this family. And that's why they ordered me to stay behind and watch the house.
I see. Well, if they're on vacation, does that mean no one will be coming home today?
Yep. They said they'd be back tomorrow evening.
Got it. Becky, I want you to do exactly as I tell you. Make your preparations to leave that house immediately. Get all your important things together so that you never have to go back to that house again.
What?
When I showed your dad your messages, he ran to the kitchen, grabbed the car keys, and said he's gonna come out to get you immediately. I've never seen him so mad in the 40 years I've and welcoming her into the family, would it have really killed you to take her on vacation with you? The fact you left her alone at the house while you were all out having fun tells me all I need to know. She had no free time because you forced her to spend every waking hour cleaning the house, working the farm, and doing odd jobs for you. She wasn't even allowed to use her own phone, for crying out loud. You pretty much treated her like your slave.
Wait, what? No way. Are you kidding? You mad we left her to watch the house to go on a vacation? Lord have mercy. What choice do we have? You think we can afford to take her on fancy vacations with us? She was basically living with us for free by the time you stole her from us, you know? We were in no position to be taking her on our vacation to Little Timmy's Wet n Wild Fun Park. Who you think we are? Donald Trump? We ain't made of money, darling.
Living there for free? How do you work that one out when she was working 14 hours a day?
Clutch my pearls. Woo-wee, what she want? A medal? That was her duty as my son's wife. You think she's the only girl who ever did this or something? I did the same back when I was a young girl. It's called a rite of passage.
You even made her prepare your underwear and pajamas when you got done in the bathtub, didn't you? She was nothing more to you than a maidservant. As if that wasn't bad enough, you even made her cook for and clean up after your second son and his wife. I cannot believe you.
You can't seriously expect me to have her let her sit around on the sofa doing nothing all day. It's called using the available manpower, and it's what anyone with a brain would have done in my situation. Gee. Would you quit whining at me already? It's just like they say, the more the merrier. I figured it'd be more fun if my Otto and his girl lived with us. So I let them stay when they asked if they could. It's hardly like looking after an extra 2 people was a big deal. You know what pisses me off the most about all this? Is how you seem to think it's A-okay to stick your nose into my family's business. Becky belongs to us, and you had no right to take her. It's a woman's duty to serve her husband and his family. And you had no heckin' right to come barging into our house and take her.
Have you ever heard of something called cooperation? Why couldn't you help her sometimes? Why did you have to force her to do literally everything around the house on top of the farm work? You went too far, Bessie. Surely you know forcing her to do everything was wrong.
It's called wife training. How was she supposed to be a good partner to my Henrik if I didn't show her the ropes first? Anyway, I ain't got nothing more to say to you. It's time for you to give me my daughter-in-law back. Her chores are piling up like crazy. She's way behind on everything now because of your meddling.
No way. She is never going back there. I won't allow it. She's divorcing Henrik and never wants to see you, any of you, ever again. Those are her words, not mine.
What in the Lord's name are you talking about? You're dreaming if you think we're gonna let you get away with this. Who's gonna do the housework now?
How about you do it yourself? You said it yourself. You did the same things you made Becky do when you were young, right? That makes you an expert. Don't worry. You'll breeze it.
Fine. I see how it is. If that's how you gonna play this, then so be it. To think, we tried so hard to get along with that girl, and this is how she repays us? Divorce. I can't think of anything sweeter. The sooner we can see the back of
Quick.
forget the compensation. We gave up trying to fight it.
You didn't give up on it, dear. You just didn't have any choice but to pay it. My daughter kept a diary of every single thing you did to her in that house so that when the day came, she'd be able to use it to damn you to rights. She hid it so you wouldn't find out. I have no idea where she was keeping it, but it was so worn out I can only begin to imagine the lengths she had to go to keep you from finding it. We have medical certificates too.
For the bruises? No way. She just bumped into the cupboard. That girl was always clumsy.
Quit lying. Even just the thought of how skinny she was when we came to rescue her. Even just thinking about all the horrible things you subjected her to makes me livid.
I wouldn't call it horrible. It was just, how to put it, maybe we got a little carried away sometimes, but it was never anything serious. Or maybe it was just our accents. That's it. You know how people with different accents can sound harsh when you're not used to them? I bet that's all this is. Besides, we fed her, didn't we? Ain't one she didn't go hungry, and that's a fact. Anyway, enough of this trivial bullcrap. I messaged you today for a reason. I was hoping I could ask you for a favor.
A favor?
Yep. It's about Becky. Can we have her back?
Excuse me?
To tell you the truth, things have gotten a little more difficult since my second son Otto and his wife moved in with us. There's so much housework to do now. Things ain't just running the way they used to. I want Becky to be a darling, come back to this house, and help us with the cooking, the cleaning, laundry, and on the farm like she used to.
You've got to be joking me. You do know my daughter has absolutely nothing to do with you and your family anymore, right? Are you seriously asking for her help? Are you completely deranged? Besides, all those things you just mentioned are the things you forced her to do by herself for years on end.
Angelina, please. I ain't no spring chicken anymore, you know. These hands done their fair share working. It's someone else's turn now. Who better than Becky? She knows the family. She knows our house. She knows how to tend to the animals on the farm. If she ain't the perfect candidate to come in and lend a helping hand, then I don't know who is. Besides, she was family once. If we're honest here, I think we all know you
absolutely everything. He often picks up on things the boss says during meetings that most of us miss. Then he'll go around the office afterwards making sure everyone understood. I guess that's what I'm trying to say here, is that you're wrong. Gary's a highly competent worker who's vital to this company, and not just that, but he's one of the nicest guys I've ever known. If you were genuinely his wife like you say you are, there's no way you'd be attacking him in this way.
No, dear, like I said, the only reason you've fallen for Gary's trickery is because you're a pea-brained moron with an IQ lower than my shoe size. Besides, who the hell do you think you are? Anyone would think you were his labor union representative. You should remember you're nothing but one of his co-workers.
Yes, I am his co-worker, but I'm also his friend, which means if he was ever in trouble, I would want to be there to help him. There's no way I'm handing in this letter of resignation based on the dubious claims of a complete stranger who messaged me out of the blue, slandering and denigrating him.
You really are a grade A hypocrite. What's the weather like up there on your high horse, Mr. Perfect? Would you like a sainthood? Should I start calling you Jesus? Do you have any idea how much my husband slacks off at home?
Huh?
Despite the fact that he should cook my dinner as soon as he gets home from work, he never does any such thing. He doesn't do the laundry, he doesn't wash the pots, he doesn't clean the house. Instead, he pathetically attempts to do it all in one go on his days off. I don't think I need to tell you how filthy that means our house gets. He obviously has no intention of fulfilling his obligations to his family.
Hang on a second. If my memory serves me correctly, I'm pretty sure I remember Gary telling me his wife was a stay-at-home housewife a little while back. Do you have a job?
No.
Huh?
I despise the notion that it's a woman's job to do the housework. But sadly, patriarchal notions of male chauvinism and the oppression of women are woven just as deeply into the fabric of society as they ever were. The idea that women should be in the kitchen is parochial and antiquated, an anachronism. I mean, come on, don't you think it's strange? The idea that we should be the ones who do the cooking and cleaning just because we're women?
Hang on a second. It's not that I think women should do all that stuff just because they're women. Wait. Are you telling me Gary does literally everything? He both works full-time and does all the cooking, cleaning, and housework? very long time. I convinced myself I should keep my mouth shut and tolerate it because I loved you and wanted our marriage to work. But then I stopped and thought about it, and that's when I realized I never married you to live a life like this.
What the heck is this crap? Just how dumb and irresponsible can you be? Am I speaking to a child? Adults don't just give up the moment they don't get their way. That's how 3-year-olds behave. Quit throwing your toys out of the stroller and suck on your milk bottle for a while. It'll help you calm down. If you're not satisfied with your life, you should come up with ways to improve it and put in the hard work required to actualize it, not throw a tantrum and flip everything upside down in a rage.
Why am I the only one that has to work hard? What have you done to make this relationship work? Go on, name one thing. All you do is sit on your phone scrolling Instagram, playing games and reading manga all day. The only time you make an effort with your appearance is when you go out to drink with your girlfriends. You help yourself to my savings and spend my money on the most pointless, frivolous crap imaginable whenever you feel like it. Look at it from my point of view. Can you name a single positive thing about being married to you? There aren't any, are there? Marriage isn't about one side constantly having to endure bullshit while the other side does whatever they want all the time.
Oh my God, Gary, what happened to you? You're horrible. How can you say such awful things to me? You never used to be like this. You used to be kind. You used to be so sweet and thoughtful. You've changed.
My kindness has limits. Not standing up for yourself in the face of constant belittling, abuse, and manipulation isn't kindness, it's weakness. But you are basically right. After all, it's precisely because I changed that I'm breaking up with you now. It was thanks to my workplace and certain amazing coworkers that I finally realized what I needed to do anyways. I'll be sending you the signed divorce papers to your parents' house tomorrow. See to it that you get it handed in with your signature on them before the end of the week.
No, wait, please. Are you just going to end things without even talking to me first? How could you be so irresponsible?
You're the one who drove me to this, Sylvia. Not only that, but you completely refused to work and forced me to keep on top of literally everything at home, even though I was working full time. Why do you think you get to force me to do your bidding, like some kind of slave, while you slob around on the sofa all day, eating potato chips and endlessly scrolling on your phone?
Gary, please, I admit I was in the wrong. Please, will you forgive me? I swear I'll start doing the housework from now on, all of it. You'll never have to wash another plate again for as long as you live. Please, just rethink the divorce. You can even carry on at your job, too. How does that sound? Please, Gary, you're all I have. I can change. I swear I'll work hard. I swear.
Your change means nothing to me because it doesn't come from a place of genuineness. You're only saying this because you realize I'm sick of you and I want you out of my life. Besides, I know about all your secret meetups with the guys from the dating apps.
What?
I've been burying my head in the sand and pretending it honestly believe that getting rid of Sylvia was the best move he ever made. No one needs Sylvia in their life.
Kathy, are you really planning to come to our house tomorrow to greet us? It's quite late now, and isn't the lack of a greeting up until this point leaving a rather negative impression on us?
By our house, does this mean that you're Cameron's father?
Isn't it obvious from my name? Your fiancé's last name is McNellis, right? When I ask if you're coming to greet us at our home, it's only natural for you to understand who I am based on that context. Surely you should be able to deduce who I am from the situation.
Yes, you're right. I truly apologize for my oversight. I honestly didn't expect a message from Cameron's father, and I wanted to confirm that just in case.
Even so, it seems you might be lacking in judgment. Sure, it's difficult to be smarter than Cameron, but that doesn't mean your response should be this weak. By the way, do you even know my name? If you had a decent amount of common ground with Cameron, you should have recognized my name when you saw it. He must have mentioned me to you at some point, right?
Your name? Yes, I believe Cameron did mention it. It's Bernard, and you're a local politician, correct? I see now that my question was indeed foolish. I apologize sincerely for that.
I could give you some credit for being able to apologize sincerely, but here's the thing. Since Cameron is going to be a respectable politician in the future, it makes me a little worried if his future wife is this clumsy. Are you truly the one Cameron chose, or do you perhaps have some kind of leverage over him?
I would never do something like that. We're in a genuine relationship and we're engaged. I plan to show up tomorrow fully focused and ready to meet everyone.
All right then. At the very least, I hope you'll present yourself well enough not to feel embarrassed standing next to Cameron. You graduated from the same university, didn't you? This wasn't just a matter of connections, right?
I assure you there were no connections involved. I worked diligently to study for and pass the entrance exams. I sincerely apologize for my earlier misstep, but there's really no need for concern regarding my education and preparedness. I have put in a significant amount of effort in my studies and believe I am well equipped to enter society.
Well, that's reassuring to hear. However, I must admit that your first impression has been quite poor. I genuinely hope you can make a better impression tomorrow.
Yes, I will definitely be more focused, and I look forward to meeting you tomorrow. How could you do something like this? This is just too much. Pouring ice-cold water on me out of nowhere?
What's wrong? Are you at the hospital now? You brought this on yourself. You need to know your place. Keeping the fact that you come from a single-parent family a secret from your son? That's outrageous. You're nothing but a scoundrel trying to get your hands on the fortune of a political family, and I just poured water on you to wake you up.
I don't understand what you're talking about. What is wrong with being from a single-parent family?
Let me break it down for you, all right? A man is only considered a real man if he can support at least one woman. So what's your excuse? You couldn't remarry? You haven't been chosen by any woman, and at your age you still can't attract anyone. Being raised by a worthless father like that just makes you a worthless woman too, doesn't it?
That is such a biased perspective. This is just too much.
This isn't bias. This is how the world works. There's a standard set for everything. A man who couldn't get married and a man who's known for not being able to remarry are considered failures. That's just how it is. Even if we talk about biology, a man is supposed to hunt and provide. And here you are still single. What a joke.
That's not true. My father raised me well. Please don't say bad things about him without knowing anything.
Honestly, you're not worth knowing about. And from what I hear, you're unemployed, right? Sure, it's true that a woman can just get married and stay at home, and it's true that as long as she can manage the household, that's all that matters. But to be unemployed before even getting married, that's just reckless. It's fine to dream about marrying Cameron, but that's just wishful thinking. Oh, it's so funny I can't stop laughing.
That's not the case at all. Right now, I'm just temporarily unemployed. I'm in the process of preparing to start a business. I've explained this already, haven't I?
How do you expect to succeed in business when you come from a single father who's a worthless parent? You're probably just attending some scam seminar, getting inspired, thinking you can do it too, wasting all your money on it. You should stop the pointless spending and find a part-time job to earn some money instead.
You really don't listen at all, do you? I have never met someone so awful in my life. My father is just as astonished.
Your father, too? Oh, did Daddy rush over to the hospital for you? Make sure to explain it well, okay? You're trying to marry a man who doesn't fit your status, and now you're crying because your father is sending you away.
You can say that now, but this is just temporary. My father says he won't forgive you, so you should think of your life as over.
Huh? If your parents are bottom tier, you're bottom tier too. Show me their faces. If you keep getting cocky, I'll crush you. Nice to meet you. I'm the bottom-tier parent. You'll crush me? That's rich coming from you. Just wait and see what happens. What? Are you perhaps some kind of gang member? Ooh, so scary. Try something funny and I'll report you to the police right away. Who knows? You'll find out soon enough. Without a hitch. That guy and your fiancé both turned pale the moment they saw my face, just as I expected they would. I also recorded the entire scene on video, so I'll send you the footage later. Watching it will surely help you feel better about everything.
Dad, thank you so much. You really went to their house, didn't you? You even recorded a video? I can't believe you went that far for me, really.
Well, if I'm going to do something, it's important to have evidence. It's always better to have proof of what happens in situations like this. You never know when it might come in handy.
You're right, as always. You're really the best, Dad.
This whole situation was unfortunate, but I believe there's someone much better out there for you. After everything, I received a message from your fiancé that was filled with insults. Honestly, any man who can't stand by your side during such a crucial moment is bound to betray you eventually. I'm genuinely relieved that you didn't end up marrying that guy and that you managed to see through him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel the same way, so I'm okay. I never imagined I would get yelled at and insulted by Cameron for keeping the fact that I come from a single-parent family a secret. It's almost funny. Both Cameron and his father spoke in a similar tone, and I could almost feel the connection of the bloodlines in that moment.
I see. That must have been really tough for you.
But please, don't misunderstand me. I wasn't hiding the fact that I come from a single-parent family. Cameron never really asked about it, and I didn't even realize it until we had this conversation today. To me, it's just been a part of my life. I've never thought it was something I needed to bring up. I mean, my mom passed away a long time ago, and I never thought it was something that needed to be brought up in conversation.
Yeah, I figured as much. I'm not bothered by it at all, but that's why I was surprised. I never imagined that the fact that I come from a single-parent family and that I've never remarried would cause such a stir. I didn't expect it to trouble you in any way. I'm really sorry for putting you through all that.
Wait, why are you apologizing? You haven't done anything wrong. I've never been made to feel special from being in a single-parent family, so this was a huge surprise for me. And it's the first time I've encountered someone who has such a biased view about a single father not being able to remarry. I never thought things would turn out this way. In fact, I feel terrible that I made you worry about it. I'm really sorry.
You have nothing to apologize for. You haven't done anything wrong. Being your father's daughter isn't something you chose. You didn't choose to grow up in a single-parent family.
Don't say it like that. I know how much you've cared for and raised me. I've been through so much as a girl growing up, and there were many things I didn't understand. But you always greeted me with a smile, even when I was struggling. I really do understand.
Kathy, you've really grown up to be such a kind child. Just hearing you say that makes me really happy.
Because it's the truth. That guy, that man who only talks a big game, probably never bothered to get involved in raising me. He thinks he's so great just because he brings in money. That's why he feels he can look down on single-parent families like ours from the sidelines. I'm not sad about the insults he threw at me. What I really couldn't stand was hearing him speak ill of you, the father who raised me with so much love.
Well, that's true. People who speak biased opinions so confidently are usually those who have never experienced anything themselves, who know nothing. It's pointless to worry about that kind of thing.
Exactly, so let's not worry about it. And I know that the reason you've never remarried is for my sake.
Huh?
I remember, when I was little, you once brought home a woman you were getting along with, thinking I needed a new mom. I got really upset that time. You asked me, how would you feel if you got a new mom? And I cried and shouted, "Mom is in the sky! I don't need a new mom!" You must have been really hurt by that.
Ah, so you remember that.
Of course. I remember being so angry that I didn't talk to you for 3 days. You apologized to me so much. I was just a kid then. I didn't want anyone else in our family, and it upset me. I still think of my mom as my mom, and that will never change. But that doesn't mean I'm against you marrying someone new now.
What are you saying?
I know that ever since the incident, you've been careful not to date anyone because you were thinking of me. You kept your promise that we would stay together, just the two of us as a family, and you've really stuck to it.
Kathy, but that wasn't because I wanted to do it for you. It's something I chose to do for myself.
Yeah, I knew you'd say that. Do you really think I've been living with you all these years without realizing that? It's easy to see those things.
Well, so you've seen through everything, huh?
But in return, you've been incredibly serious about your work, putting so much effort into raising me. I thought this marriage would be a way to show you my gratitude, and I wanted to tell you that I was getting married, but since that can't happen now, it feels like I'm not doing it well. But I truly want you to live your life as you wish. If you find a wonderful woman, I hope you can create a happy new family together. If that makes you smile, then I'd be happy.
Kathy, thank you. To hear that from my daughter makes me feel like the luckiest father in the world.
I'm just a happy only daughter. So I'm going to find a great person for myself too, and you should find someone good for you. Let's make both of us happy.
I understand. Thank you, Kathy. Let's think about how we can both be happy.
Yeah.
I truly apologize for what happened earlier. Hearing about your single-parent family, I made unfounded assumptions and looked down on your family, belittling your father. I sincerely apologize for that. I never expected your father to be the one who recommended me to become a local politician. To think that he's a big-time politician like Jefferson.
How does it feel knowing that your father has a higher salary than I do, a man with a wife? If my father is not distinguished, then you must be worth less than garbage, right?
You are absolutely correct. This incident has made me realize that being part of a single-parent family is not a disadvantage at all. If you were raised with such love and care by a father as respectable as yours, I'm sure that you are an admirable person yourself.
It's quite embarrassing to see such a drastic change in perspective, isn't it? As a man, shouldn't you have a stronger sense of integrity?
While I would like to maintain my stance, I now fully understand that I was completely wrong in this matter.
How does it feel to bow down to someone you previously looked down upon as a bottom-tier woman with bottom-tier parents? What's it like to taste the humiliation of realizing that a father who never had a woman choose him holds a higher position than you, who is married?
It's more like my values have been shattered. I've learned a significant lesson from this experience. That's why I am genuinely apologizing to you. I never knew your father was such an outstanding person. If I had known, I wouldn't have acted so foolishly. Why did you keep such an important thing hidden from me?
I didn't hide it. I assumed you would understand if we talked, and for me, having my father in my life is a given. It seemed strange for me to brag about my father's standing as his daughter. As we continued talking, I thought it would come up naturally, and conversely, I didn't want to be treated kindly knowing you were aware of my situation, so I let the conversation flow. As a result, you and your parents felt free to insult us without knowing anything.
I truly never expected things would turn out like this. I deeply apologize. I hope that we can all get along as family from now on.
As family? You think we can be friends as relatives? How foolish can you be? It's amusing that you think we could become friends in this situation. Didn't you just have your father announce that all support would be withdrawn?
That would be a significant problem for me. Without your father's support, our family...
It's nice to be so carefree, isn't it? Rather, my father intends to expose your actions to the public and plans to destroy you.
Wait a moment, that seems excessive. It's true that I insulted you, but I've reflected on my actions and promised not to do it again.
Did you forget that you dumped ice water on me? I have a bruise on my face because of it. Luckily, my eyes are fine, but what if I had gone blind?
You're right. I sincerely apologize for that. However, please, just this once, forgive me.
But there's no just this once. You decided to cut ties with me based solely on your assumptions that I came from a lowly background. With regard to you and your family as nothing more than pathetic bottom-tier people, we decided you would never work in this industry again. People like you shouldn't exist in this field. You and your family should fall into hell and feel shame. Bernard seemed to be a good person on the surface, and that perception was shared by many in our circles. He had a way of presenting himself that was charming and engaging, often drawing people in with his charisma. He was the type of person who would enter a room and immediately light it up with his smile, exuding an aura of warmth and friendliness. Conversations with him felt effortless. He was a great listener and always had encouraging words to offer. It was easy to see why my father had initially placed his trust in Bernard. However, the day my father decided to reveal the truth about Bernard was nothing short of monumental. The revelation sent shockwaves through our lives, creating a ripple effect that would change everything. My father had never been one to hide the truth or shy away from uncomfortable conversations. His commitment to honesty was one of the values that he had instilled in me from a young age, and it was a principle he lived by. But this particular truth was so damning that it left a profound impact on all of us. When the news broke, it felt like the ground beneath us had shifted. We had been living in a carefully constructed reality, and suddenly that reality had been shattered. People around us reacted with shock and disbelief. Their perceptions of Bernard and our family altered overnight. Those who had once seen him as a mentor or a friend were now grappling with feelings of betrayal. My father, too, faced the fallout of this revelation. He had unwittingly placed his faith in someone who had deceived not only him, but also many others. The fallout was swift and merciless. My father and I were not just thrust into a personal crisis. We found ourselves at the center of a scandal that reverberated through our community and beyond. The whispers began almost immediately. Friends who had once stood by our side started to distance themselves, unsure of how to navigate the situation. Invitations to social gatherings dwindled, and the phone calls that had once been a regular part of our lives became increasingly rare. The isolation was suffocating. As I watched the people around us react to the news, I couldn't help but feel a sense of bitterness towards those who had turned away. It was painful to realize how quickly relationships could dissolve in the face of scandal. Good riddance, I thought to myself, feeling a strange mixture of anger and satisfaction. Those who were quick to abandon us had never truly understood the depth of our character, and I found comfort in the idea that we were now free from their superficial company. Yet amidst this bitterness, I also felt a sense of strange relief. My father and I had always had a solid bond, but this crisis forced us to confront our relationship in a new light. We were no longer just parent and child, we were allies, navigating the murky waters of betrayal and deception together. This shared experience created an unspoken understanding between us, one that deepened our connection. Despite the chaos surrounding us, we made a conscious decision to focus on our relationship. My father and I recognized that we had the power to create our own narrative moving forward, and it was one that would prioritize happiness and resilience. We began to explore ways to rebuild our lives, starting with small steps that would ultimately lead us towards a brighter future. The first step was to openly discuss our feelings and fears about the situation. In the quiet of our home, we would sit together, sharing our thoughts and emotions without reservation. I appreciated my father's willingness to be vulnerable. It made it a lot easier for me to express my own worries. We talked about the importance of maintaining our integrity and how we could rise above the circumstances that had been thrust upon us. Even though the situation is difficult, my father said one evening, it can also be an opportunity for us to grow. We can redefine who we are and what we stand for. His words resonated with me, and I began to see the glimmer of hope amidst the darkness. We agreed that while the truth had initially torn us apart from others, it also provided us with a chance to forge new connections based on authenticity. As we continued our discussions, we set goals for ourselves. We wanted to focus on self-improvement and healing, recognizing that it would be a long journey. My father expressed his desire to pursue new opportunities in his career, ones that would align with his values rather than those that had led him into the web of deceit surrounding Bernard. It was an inspiring moment to witness my father's resolve to take control of his life again. Simultaneously, I began to contemplate my own aspirations. For years, I had been caught up in the expectations placed upon me by others, often sacrificing my own dreams in the process. The realization that I had the power to carve my own path was both exhilarating and terrifying. I decided to explore interests that had always intrigued me, but had been overshadowed by external pressures. I delved into creative writing, a passion I had neglected for far too long. The process of putting pen to paper became cathartic, allowing me to express my thoughts and emotions freely. In parallel, we started looking for ways to engage with the community in a positive manner. My father and I volunteered at local organizations, lending a helping hand where we could. It was through this service that we began to meet individuals who had faced their own struggles, each with a story that echoed our own. Hearing their experiences helped alleviate some of the isolation we felt, reminding us that we were not alone in our challenges. One day, while volunteering at a food bank, I met a woman named Sarah who had endured significant hardships in her life. Her strength and resilience were evident in the way she spoke about her experiences. "Life can be so unpredictable," she said, her eyes sparkling with determination. "But it's how we respond to those challenges that defines us." Her words resonated deeply with me, reinforcing the notion that we could choose our reactions to adversity. Inspired by the connections we were making, we began to organize community events aimed at fostering support and understanding. We hosted workshops that encouraged individuals to share their stories, creating a safe space for vulnerability. These gatherings transformed into a source of healing, not just for us, but for others who had faced similar trials. It was rewarding to see people come together, united in their desire to support one another. As we began to find our footing again, my father and I decided to explore new avenues for our relationship beyond our discussions. We ventured into hobbies that allowed us to bond in different ways. One weekend, we took a pottery class together, discovering the joy of creating something tangible with our hands. The experience was both frustrating and rewarding. We laughed at our initial clumsiness and celebrated our small successes. Through pottery, we learned to communicate without words, understanding each other's movements and intentions as we shaped the clay. It was a reminder of the importance of teamwork and patience, both of which had become essential elements of our journey. Every time we sat at the wheel, we would exchange stories and thoughts, and the act of creating became a form of therapy for us. The combination of volunteering, exploring new hobbies, and attending workshops began to fill our lives with purpose. We set aside time each week to reflect on our progress and celebrate our achievements, no matter how small. These moments of gratitude became crucial for maintaining our mental well-being, reminding us of how far we had come despite the challenges we faced. Eventually, the idea of opening a cafe started to take shape in our minds. We envisioned a space where people could gather, share their stories, and connect over good food and coffee. The thought of creating something that brought joy to others was invigorating. We discussed the importance of building a community hub that embodied our values: authenticity, inclusivity, and kindness. As we brainstormed ideas, my father's excitement was palpable. He began researching local trends, gathering information about the cafe industry, and even experimenting with recipes at home. I joined him in these culinary adventures, and together we created a menu that showcased wholesome, locally sourced ingredients. The process became a labor of love, allowing us to channel our energy into something meaningful. One evening, while we cooked together, my father shared a story from his youth that had inspired him. "When I was your age, I worked at a small cafe in my hometown," he recalled, his eyes lighting up with nostalgia. "It was a community gathering spot, and I remember how people would come in, share their lives, and form connections over coffee. It was magical." His words resonated with me, and I could see the vision we were creating come to life through his memories. As the weeks passed, we meticulously planned every aspect of our cafe. We envisioned a cozy space adorned with local artwork and comfortable seating, a place where people would feel at home. We decided to incorporate a community board where patrons could share events and announcements, fostering connections within the neighborhood. Our goal was to create an atmosphere that encouraged conversation and collaboration, where everyone felt like they belonged. With every decision, we felt a sense of purpose growing within us. The cafe was not just a business venture, it was an embodiment of our values and a reflection of our journey. We wanted it to be a safe space for those who had experienced their own struggles, a place where stories could be shared and support could be found. Once we secured the location, we dove headfirst into the renovation process. We spent countless hours painting walls, selecting furniture, and curating the ambience we wanted to create. It was hard work, but we approached it with enthusiasm and determination. The cafe began to take shape, transforming from a vacant space into a cozy haven that reflected our vision. Throughout the renovation, we faced our fair share of challenges. There were days when the work felt overwhelming and we questioned whether we could pull it off. But every time we encountered a setback, we leaned on each other for support. "We can get through this," my father would say, reminding me of our journey and the strength we had cultivated. It was during those moments that I truly understood the depth of our bond, how we could rely on one another, drawing strength from our shared experiences. Finally, the grand opening day arrived, and I felt a whirlwind of emotions: excitement, nervousness, and a hint of anxiety. As we prepared to welcome our first customers, I looked around the cafe and reflected on how far we had come. This space, once just an idea, now represented our resilience and determination. We stood behind the counter, hearts racing as people began to trickle in, drawn by the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and baked goods. Each smile from our customers felt like a victory. The warmth of their appreciation filled the room, and I couldn't help but think back to the darkest days when it felt like we might never recover. We had transformed our hardships into something beautiful, and the cafe became a testament to our journey. The laughter and conversations that filled the air reminded us of the power of connection. As the days turned into weeks, our cafe flourished. It quickly became a community gathering spot, a haven for those seeking connection and warmth. We hosted events that brought people together, from open mic nights to community discussions, creating a sense of belonging among our patrons. The joy of witnessing friendships blossom within the walls of our cafe was incredibly rewarding. I often stood behind the counter, watching the interactions unfold, and felt a deep sense of fulfillment. This was what we had worked so hard to achieve, a space that embodied our values and allowed people to come together to celebrate life's moments, both big and small. My father and I often exchanged glances, silently acknowledging the journey we had undertaken together. In this new chapter of our lives, we learned to embrace the unpredictability of life. We understood that challenges would continue to arise, but we were now equipped with the tools to face them head on. Our bond had become unbreakable, and together we had transformed our pain into purpose. We were determined to continue growing, both individually and as a team. The truth may have changed our lives in ways we never anticipated, but it also opened the door to new beginnings. It forced us to confront our past, reassess our values, and ultimately led us to create a future filled with hope and joy. My father and I were no longer just surviving, we were thriving hand in hand, ready to embrace whatever life had in store for us next. And so, as we continued to build our cafe, we remained steadfast in our commitment to authenticity. We wanted our space to be a reflection of our values, a place where everyone felt welcome and accepted. Each day brought new challenges, and we faced them together, drawing strength from our shared experiences. In the end, we understood that our journey was not just about rebuilding our lives, it was about contributing positively to the world around us. We realized that our experiences could serve as a source of inspiration for others who might be facing their own struggles. Through our cafe, we hope to offer a sense of hope and connection to everyone who walked through our doors. As the weeks turned into months, the cafe became more than just a business. It became a community. We forged relationships with our patrons, many of whom became regulars, creating a sense of familiarity and friendship. Each interaction reinforced the idea that we were all in this together, navigating the complexities of life. One afternoon, a young couple walked into the cafe, looking somewhat hesitant. I approached them with a warm smile, ready to assist. "Welcome, how can I help you today?" I asked, eager to make them feel at home. They shared that they had just moved into the area and were exploring local spots. We chatted about their experiences, and I shared my own journey, highlighting the community aspect of our cafe. As they settled in, I noticed how their initial uncertainty melted away, replaced by laughter and conversation. It was moments like these that reminded me of the power of connection. By simply being open and sharing our stories, we could create a space where people felt seen and heard. Over time, the cafe evolved into a hub for creative expression. We began showcasing local artists and musicians, providing a platform for them to share their talents. The walls were adorned with vibrant paintings and photographs, each piece telling its own story. Live music nights drew in crowds, and the energy in the room was electric. Each performance became a celebration of community, where people would gather to appreciate art in its various forms. I remember one particular evening when a local singer-songwriter performed her original songs. As she poured her heart into her music, the audience was captivated. It felt like we were all connected through the melodies and lyrics, a beautiful reminder of the power of art to unite us. The cafe's success brought us unexpected opportunities. We received invitations to collaborate with local organizations, participating in charity events and community initiatives. Each event allowed us to give back and reinforce our commitment to supporting those in need. We organized fundraisers, donating a portion of our proceeds to various causes, knowing that we were making a difference, no matter how small. Through these collaborations, we met individuals who shared our passion for community engagement. We forged friendships with fellow entrepreneurs and activists, creating a network of like-minded individuals who were committed to effecting positive change. Together, we brainstormed ideas for future projects, eager to expand our impact. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story. Jess, when exactly will you be coming home, young lady? And why did you go out this morning without telling me anything? I'm with John at the doctor's today. I did tell you yesterday I'd be here. Is something wrong? You're at the doctor's? Are you kidding me? Wait a sec. You mean you're still there? You left first thing this morning and you're still at the doctor's? How long can a frickin' visit to the doctor's take? When will you be getting your ass back to this house? Here's a hint. The answer better be soon. Well, I did have an appointment, but we've been sitting in the waiting room for a while now. The waiting times have been getting really bad here lately. I don't think we should be much longer, though. I bet you're only going for John's medicine. Why do you need to waste this much time on something so trivial? You're a stay-at-home housewife, Missy, and you better not forget that. You have duties to this household far more important than your son's proxy medicine. I want this place cleaned from top to bottom the second you get back. Do you understand me? Wait, what? But I already asked you if you wouldn't mind doing the housework today. Huh? What are you talking about? I have no recollection of that. Obviously, it makes more sense for you to do it. You are the housewife, after all. What did you think you were signing up for when you married my son, you imbecile? Quit talking back to me, get back to this house, and do your frickin' job. But I told you, Mathilda, I'm planning on visiting my parents after we finish up at the doctor's. Even if I do the housework today, it's gonna end up being really late. As long as that's fine by you, then I can do it. Goodness me, Jess, you're only stopping by at your folks' place to show your face, right? Why would that take all day? Wait, you're not trying to shirk your housework duties, are you? I do hope you're not the kind of girl to behave so shamefully. I did tell you this yesterday, did I not? Am I going senile or something? My mom and dad's dog has been sick these last few days. John's worried too, so we're gonna head over to check on him. That's why I asked you to do the housework just this once. Look, I get it's probably a little inconvenient for you, and I'm really sorry about that, but it is just a one-off. Would you mind doing it, please? My folks say the dog really hasn't been well. A dog? A dog is more important to you than your duties to this family as a housewife? You're a failure as a wife, a mother, and a human being. Ugh. A dog? I've never heard anything so ridiculous in my life. Mathilda, I have known Spike since I was a little girl. Sure, I get that he probably just seems like a pet to you, but to me, he's part of the family. I'm sorry, I get that it's probably inconvenient for you, and I apologize for that, but won't you please try to understand? Fine, I see how it is. What you're saying is, screw you, Mathilda, I refuse to fulfill my obligations to you and your family despite the fact you so kindly allowed me to marry your son and move in with you. Any objections, or did I hit the bullseye? Please don't be like this, Mathilda. You know that's not what I'm saying at all. If it's too much trouble for you to do the housework, then please feel free not to, and I'll get on top of everything as soon as I get back. It's not like I'm sleeping over or anything. Even if it's late, I promise to get everything done, okay? Look how quick she is to get irritated and defensive. That boy John's going to grow up and be just like his mother at this rate. Or worse, maybe he already inherited your defective genes. Oh my God, it doesn't bear thinking about. Oh, that poor boy. We can't have him ending up like you. What's that supposed to mean? Now, I might be overprotective with him sometimes, but from where I'm standing, it looks like John is growing up to be a good, honest young man. Good and honest? Oh, let's face it, the reason you're at the doctor's all the time is most likely because he's a weak, feeble excuse of a boy with a bad immune system due to your poor parenting techniques. But more importantly, do you have any idea how much trouble you two have caused me? I mean, seriously, trying to palm off your housework duties on your aged mother-in-law. Disgraceful would be understating it. It was only last week he was in bed all day with the sniffles. I'm embarrassed to call that sorry excuse of a child my grandson. Do not speak about my son like that. It's not like he enjoys being ill, so leave him alone. You've been spoiling that boy far too much lately. You know, back in my day when we were sick, we just got on with it. Ever heard of a stiff upper lip? We certainly didn't go running to the doctors at the first sign of trouble like you weaklings nowadays. The reason he's so weak and feeble is because he knows that every time he gets ill, you'll be fawning over him, catering to his every need and whim like some subservient slave woman. You're encouraging him to get ill with your abominable parenting techniques. It was me who asked you to do the housework. Leave John out of this. It has nothing to do with him. Now, if you wouldn't mind, stop saying such awful things. You do not tell me what to do, young lady. Who on earth do you think you are? Besides, it's God's honest truth. What would you have me do? Lie? Ugh, I knew it. I knew this would happen. This is why I was so opposed to the idea of you and my son getting married in the first place. If only he could have found himself someone with less attitude. I knew your arrogant, self-absorbed personality would end up causing problems. You're incapable of doing housework, and you can't even look after your own son. If you care about what's best for my son, Gary, how about you put him out of his misery and get a divorce, like, right now? Shut up, just shut up already. Just because you're my mother-in-law doesn't give you any right to speak to me like crap. You have no right to speak to me like this, not about my family dog, not about John, not about anything. Excuse me, is that any way to speak to your mother-in-law? Mark my words, Missy, this little rebellious streak of yours ends right here, right now. If this is your attitude, then you leave me no choice. You just activated my trap card, you little witch. You'll only have yourself to blame for the hell that's about to rain down on you. Prepare yourself for the worst. Whatever, the bottom line is I'll be back home late tonight. So I'm sorry, but you're just gonna have to deal with it. Mathilda, I'm sorry to bother you, but I really need to ask you something. Is now a good time? What's wrong, dear? Your boy John's medicine wouldn't have happened to have gone missing, would it? How do you know about that? I knew you must have had something to do with it. You know something about this, don't you? Tell me where it is. No, dear, of course not. It was just a lucky guess, that's all. I don't admit to knowing a thing. We have to go out now, but I can't find it anywhere. John could be in danger without that medicine. Do you have any idea how important it is? I can't believe you'd take it. If you know, please just tell me. I won't be mad. I don't even have time to be mad because we have to go out. This isn't the time for games, Mathilda. Games? What's gotten into you, dear? Are you going crazy or something? Would you like me to call a shrink? I told you I don't have a clue what you're talking about. Surely you just misplaced it because you're a messy and disorganized failure of a woman. I mean, good grief, it's a little rich of you to try and blame your lack of discipline on your poor elderly mother-in-law. I'm not joking, Mathilda. We really need that medicine. What would you do if something happened to John? That's your responsibility as his mother, moron. Anyway, for the millionth time, I don't know anything about your stupid medicine, so stop harping on me already. If you're going to make wild accusations against me, at least come at me with proof. I don't have any proof. But why else would you have just said that? I didn't even say anything about medicine, but somehow you knew it was missing. Drop the act already. Like I said, lucky guess. You read too deeply into things, dear. I feel bad for John having a mom like you. Imagine how horrible it must be for him, having to be around someone so neurotic all the time. Oh, that poor boy. You really are the most useless piece of garbage wife ever to walk the face of the earth. Do you know that? What am I saying? Of course you don't. You're so arrogant and self-absorbed, you probably don't even care if you're a burden on those around you. Blaming others for your own irresponsibility. This is rich, even for you. How dare you? Look, I'm sorry. If I made a misunderstanding, I genuinely apologize. Do you think your little proxy apology gets you off the hook, Missy? You're messing with the wrong mother-in-law here. You young people these days. I'll never forgive you if my grandson grows into a useless waste of space like his mother. And what must my poor son's life be like with you as his wife? Oh, I shudder to think. Look, like I said, I am sorry for causing a fuss over the medicine. If you really don't know anything about it, then let's just forget it. I'll keep looking. I'll find it even if I have to turn the place upside down. Finally! Why couldn't you have been mature from the get-go? You might be incapable of doing housework, but you should at least keep on top of your son's medicine. You're not even capable of living up to your bare minimum of responsibilities as a mother. It's really quite pathetic. I'll tell you what, here's some extra motivation. If you don't find it soon, you won't have a home for much longer. You're right, I totally deserve to be kicked out if I don't find the medicine. Sorry again, Mathilda, and thanks for taking the time out of your busy day to speak to me. That's right, finally some respect. Don't ever bug me with trivial, nonsensical crap like this again, or there will be hell to pay. Now go and find that medicine. You'll never be able to forgive yourself if something happens to John as a result of your sloppy parenting. If he dies, it'll be all your fault. I know. Sorry to trouble you. I'll be showing my face at my parents' house again today. I'll be back home around noon tomorrow at the latest. Again? Actually, you know what? I'll let it slide. This time. I'll be going out with my friend for drinks today, so it doesn't matter. Oh, aren't I generous and big-hearted? But don't think this gets you off the hook. You better make sure you do the housework the second you get back. You can at least do that, right? Yes. If you don't, I'll be very angry with you. You won't like me when I'm angry. I suggest you be very careful, Missy. All right. Catch you later. Where's my supper? Do you want me to lose my temper with you? It's about time you got your act together, Missy. You're on thin ice already, so I suggest you start behaving like a proper housewife, and soon. Sorry, but I didn't make any supper. Me, John, and Gary aren't home right now. Huh? Why on earth not? Where the hell are you then? Do you know what time it is? I fall asleep for 5 minutes, and when I wake up, you've all disappeared. Is this any way to be treating your poor elderly mother-in-law? This is not acceptable behavior. I'm really sorry, Mathilda. We're at a funeral right now, so please cook your own supper. We don't need any, so don't worry about cooking any extra for us. Huh? Whose funeral? What are you talking about? This is the first I've heard about a funeral. There's no way I can say this without sounding rude, so I'm just gonna come out with it. Don't play dumb with me, Mathilda. Don't pretend you don't know, because I know that's not possible. No, really, what are you talking about? Believe me, dear, I may not be as young as I once was, but my memory's doing just fine. And a funeral is hardly the kind of thing I'd forget about if I'd heard something about it. This all happened because of you. You're not getting out of this by feigning ignorance. How are you going to make this right? Hey, wait a sec. Wait. Really? You have to be joking me, right? I wish I was joking, but I'm not. Is John really? No, this has to be some kind of sick joke. I never meant for this to happen. No! You never meant for this to happen? What's that supposed to mean? Quit beating around the bush already and tell me exactly what you did. John's medicine. John's medicine? What about it? So it was you who took it then? Ugh, I knew it. I knew I hadn't misplaced it. But I didn't throw it away because I wanted this to happen. If I'd known, I would never have done it. I swear. I just wanted to teach you a little lesson for your despicable behavior is all. Jess, please. What was I supposed to do? You weren't fulfilling your duties to this family as my son's wife. This isn't what I wanted, I swear. Is that so? I'm relieved to hear you say that. All right, this conversation is over. For now. Oh, what's that supposed to mean? You don't need to know that. And besides, I don't have time to be having this conversation right now. Like I just told you, I'm at a funeral. We'll be discussing this again later. No, wait, I'll come and meet you. Where's the funeral home? Tell me where you are, and I'll be down in a jiffy. I have to be there. Why would you come? Why? Like hell I'm missing my own grandson's funeral. I can't risk the neighbors finding out I didn't go to my own grandson's funeral. They'll have a field day. The rumor mill would never stop, and my reputation in this town would be ruined forever. Wow. If that's how you think, you're the last person we need here. You're not invited. Don't bother trying to find us because we don't want to see you. What? But this is my grandson's funeral we're talking about here. You'd deprive him the right to be mourned by his own grandmother? We'll be discussing everything later, that included. Like I said, I don't have time to be having this conversation right now. For the time being, sit quietly at home and wait. I'll message you once things have settled down on our end. Jess, no, wait! How could you be so irresponsible? Just wait, you can't do this to me, no! All right, Mathilda, let's do this. Everything's over here now, so let's continue where we left off yesterday, shall we? Why was nobody answering the phone? I tried calling Gary and your parents so many times I lost count. I was starting to think my phone was broken. I missed my own grandson's funeral because of you. What am I supposed to do if the neighbors find out and think badly of me? Do you have any idea how hard I worked to ingratiate myself with these people? Oh my God, my reputation would be finished. That's what you're worrying about in this situation? Seriously? I think you have more serious things to be concerned about than that. More serious things? Like what? Did you conveniently forget that you threw the medicine away? Do you understand what's going to happen if people found out what you did? Do you have any idea of the gravity of the situation you're in? What is with you, woman? You can't seriously be threatening me at a time like this with everything that's going on. Your son just died, you heartless demon. You are a disgrace to all mothers. Please, Mathilda, you're the last person on earth who has the right to say that to me. And what are you talking about? John's doing absolutely fine. He's next to me right now, in fact. Huh? What are you talking about? No, what are you talking about? Why would you randomly assume John was dead? Stop it, you weirdo. It's creepy. The only disgrace here is you. You're not just a disgrace to all mothers, you're a disgrace to humanity. But you said it yourself that you were at a funeral. That's why I was panicking so much. If you don't believe me, how about I send a picture? Both John and Gary are totally fine, so chill your beans. I'm about to send one of all three of us. That's the last time you'll ever see us, so make sure to cherish it, okay? Maybe you can frame it and put it up on the wall so you can be reminded of how you were such a vile, nasty piece of work that even your own family wanted nothing to do with you. What are you talking about? You mean, you lied about the funeral? No, there most certainly was a funeral. I told you on several occasions, right? That my mom and dad's dog had been ill lately? It was our dog's funeral. Spike is dead. The dog? You made me almost lose my mind over a goddamn dog? Why weren't you just straight with me from the beginning? He was getting old. We've had him since I was a kid, and he was always there while I was growing up. It's not like we were too surprised when his health took a turn for the worst. But still, that doesn't make it any less upsetting. He was like family to us. Do not screw me around, Missy. I'm asking you a question. Why did you confuse me by being so damn ambiguous? You made it sound like it was my fault. He died on the day you were sending all those abusive messages. When John and I showed our faces at my folks' place, remember? Apparently he died not long after we left. And what does that have to do with me? I left earlier than planned so I could make it in time to do the housework after all your pestering. Which is why I wasn't even around for his final moments. What the? Oh, don't drag me into your pathetic sentimental wallowing, you melodramatic crybaby. You made me worry for nothing. Pathetic sentimental wallowing? That dog was like family to me. Family? Oh. Let's be real here. It's really not as sad as you're making it out to be, is it? He was old, so I knew his time would come before long. The only saving grace was that I was able to prepare myself to a certain extent. But because of your meddling, I wasn't even able to say goodbye properly. What do you mean? How many times are you gonna make me say it? What you did with John's medicine. My dog loved John. And you threw away John's important medicine. As his mother, I can never forgive you. Well, who cares? Quit crying over spilled milk, you big baby. It's over already. Besides, John was fine, right? All's well that ends well. How long do you plan on dragging this out, you bloviating drama queen? Sure, it's over, just like you say. As is our relationship with you. Huh? Wait, you said that when you sent the photo just now, too. Do you think I'm the only one who's furious with you for what you did? Gary and John are saying they'll never forgive you for this. I'm just grateful you at least confessed for what you did. Wait, no, did you tell them everything? I didn't need to. They've been both next to me the whole time. They saw the messages. Which is why none of us will ever be coming back to that house. Naturally, that means we're cutting all ties with you forever. My son Gary, too? No, you can't do that. I won't allow it. You tried to hurt our son. You must be insane if you think you deserve forgiveness. hurt him, but he's fine. Nothing happened, for God's sake. Can't we all just drop it and move on? Stop making a mountain out of a molehill. It was just some medicine. He's alive and kicking next to you right now, isn't he? We had to make an emergency rush to the doctors for some more medicine because of you. You caused us so much hassle, you had no idea John had to have another medical examination. Plus, insurance doesn't cover repeat prescriptions in the case of loss, so we had to pay full price. So what? It's fine. It is not fine. Besides, this isn't just about John. You were even bugging me during the funeral. You've got some nerve to pretend everything's fine after your atrocious behavior. I can't believe I'm being disowned by my own son at this ripe old age. I'm a pensioner, you know. What am I supposed to do without him? Not my problem. What's more concerning is the fact that you made it to that ripe old age without knowing the difference between right and wrong. You made your bed, now lie in it. After that, we cut the wicked stepmother out of our lives for good and embarked on a fresh start. Mathilda had always hated me and John, but as vile as she was, it was clear to me that she loved Gary, my husband, and her son. Which is why I wasn't surprised when she desperately begged and pleaded with him to reconsider after we announced we no longer wanted anything to do with her. To make matters worse for her, her worst fears came true when her neighbors found out about her antics and rumors started to spread around town. As a result, she became a social pariah and quickly lost all her friends. Unable to bear the shame, eventually, she decided to move away. Just because I was prepared for the worst with the dog being old didn't make it any less painful when he finally went. Family is family, after all, right? So, yeah, losing the dog hurt, and it sucked a lot. However, I can't say the same for seeing what became of Mathilda. She totally deserves the loneliness and isolation that awaits her. As for little John, he didn't seem to miss her one bit, which was really revealing, and showed just how little effort she'd put into building a relationship with him. I mean, really? Making fun of someone because their dog died? They say what goes around comes around, and in this case, truer words were never spoken. Hey, Pumpkin. You just get done with day 2 of your business trip. You must be tired. It was super hot there today, right?
Oh, so hot you wouldn't believe. They told me mountain basins were hot, but I had no idea it'd be this bad. It rained this morning, so the humidity was crazy high. It was like being in a sauna.
That sounds rough. You're done with work for the day now, though, right?
Yeah, I jumped in the shower the second I got back to my hotel room.
What are you having for supper?
I just grabbed something at the store nearby. I'm too drained for anything fancy tonight.
You have to eat properly, dear, but I guess eating out would be tiring for you, huh?
It's too hot, babe. I'll tell you. It might be late, but it still feels like an oven outside. If not for the aircon in my hotel room, I'd be a goner. I've only been here 2 days and I already want to come home. How are things on your end, babe? How's little Ronnie doing?
He's doing great, thanks, honey. He's doing so well, he'll probably drive you crazy with the noise if you were here.
Boys will be boys.
He tells me things are going amazingly well with his new class. He made a bunch of friends already.
He likes his new teacher too, right? What was his name again? Mr. Duncanson?
Yeah, that's him. All the kids love him. He's only a young guy in his 20s, but he's really good with the kids. And most importantly, he knows how to keep the little rascals in line. It's not just the kids that like him either. Apparently, he's a hit with the parents, too. I hope Ronnie's in his class next year, too.
I'm glad to hear things are going well for him. It's important he has a good time at school.
He said he feels a little lonely without you here, though. He keeps asking me when you're coming home.
Really? I think how big he's gotten lately made me think he's older than he actually is. I have to remind myself he's still a kid.
He's still a little cutie. No matter how big he gets, he'll always be our baby.
I'll tell him his daddy's going to come back as soon as he possibly can, okay? Also, tell him I'm pleased he's enjoying school, but to remember to behave himself.
Sure thing. I'll pass it on, honey. Look after yourself, Neil. Make sure to drink enough water.
Sure thing, babe. I will. You too. Thanks for keeping everything at the house under control until I get back. I'm counting on you, babe.
Sorry I couldn't speak on the phone, Neil. There's an emergency here.
Why didn't you pick up? I've got an emergency here myself.
No, my emergency is bigger. Apparently our son had an accident at school. Me and Ronnie's teacher are in an ambulance on our way to the hospital right now. You need to come back home ASAP.
Huh?
Not huh, hurry up.
But so am I.
What do you mean?
I'm in an ambulance with Ronnie's teacher too.
Huh? But aren't you away on business?
I cancelled my business trip and rushed home as fast as I could when I heard.
How can you possibly be on your way before me?
Ronnie's teacher called and told me he hurt himself. You know Mr. Duncanson, he's sat next to me in the ambulance right now.
But why would he call you before me? His first emergency contact should be the house phone, second my mobile.
Yeah, but he couldn't get through to you either. Thankfully, he's a quick thinker and he called me up on my mobile using Ronnie's phone. That's how he got in touch with me.
Ronnie's phone?
Mr. Duncanson said he panicked when he couldn't get through to you. Normally they wouldn't use a student's phone, but this was an emergency.
But what about your business trip? Is everything going to be okay with work?
I made my apologies and told them it couldn't be helped. They were pretty understanding given the circumstances, so luckily nothing bad will come of my early departure. An emergency is always an emergency. Anyway, where are you headed?
Ronnie's on his way to the hospital, right?
Why'd you keep asking me questions? What's going on?
Forget that, just answer me. Why are you here on your way to the hospital when you were supposed to be away on business? I don't see how you could make it to the hospital on time.
Huh? You don't understand what's going on here at all, do you? Ronnie arrived at the hospital ages ago, and I just arrived at the hospital after dropping out of my business trip early.
So why are you in an ambulance?
We're on the way to the big hospital in the next town where they have the facilities to give Ronnie the care he needs.
So that's why you're in an ambulance?
Oh, by the way, why are you lying about being in an ambulance? Or better yet, where the hell are you right now?
Is Ronnie okay?
He's still unconscious.
I don't mean that. Tell me about his condition. How badly is he hurt?
Do I look like a goddamn doctor to you? I don't know. If you want to know so badly, then how about you get down here yourself? Your son just had a serious accident. Where the hell are you? And what the hell are you playing at?
I just went out for a little while. Ronnie planned on going straight to his friend's house after school, so I didn't have to be home to cook his dinner or anything. I thought it'd be fine to go out until 6 p.m. or so.
In that case, why don't you just tell me? Why would you go out of your way to lie about being in an ambulance? Was there some reason you didn't want me to know you were out?
Our son just had a serious accident. Any good mother would be able to rush out ASAP, but I couldn't because I was out. I'm a failure as a parent. I didn't notice the calls from his teacher either, so I just pretended I was already on my way so you wouldn't think badly of me.
Mr. Duncanson was spam calling you. How could you not notice for several hours? Were you preoccupied with something?
I'm sorry, I just noticed all the missed calls and messages.
Mr. Duncanson's been great. He stayed with him the whole time after he hurt himself. Now he's on the way to the big hospital with us. He's really reassuring to have around. To be honest, he's a hell of a lot more reliable than his mother.
Please, Neil, don't be mad with me. Do you see now? This is exactly why I had to lie, because I knew you'd react like this.
Look at you, already trying to justify lying to your own husband. I can't believe you'd make up a big, steaming pile of bullshit story to justify arriving late to the hospital. Are you hiding something from me?
I'm not hiding anything.
Then why are you so vague and evasive every time I ask you where you are? No matter which way you look at it, you're acting suspiciously.
Forget that. You should be worried about Ronnie right now. This isn't the time to be obsessing over something so trivial.
Trivial? Pulling a vanishing act when your son has a serious accident and then lying to try and cover it up is trivial. I said I was counting on you to keep things under control while I was away, didn't I?
I'm so sorry.
I don't need an apology, I need an explanation.
I'll tell you everything later.
I don't know where you are, but you need to hurry up and get your ass to the hospital. How long is it going to take you to get to the hospital? Just how far away are you?
I'm not going.
Excuse me?
I don't want to go to the hospital.
Don't screw me around. You're doing this to run away from your responsibility of explaining to me what the hell you were doing when Ronnie hurt himself, aren't ya?
What's the point? You'll never forgive me no matter what I say, so what's the damn point?
Just what exactly are you afraid of, Fiona? Do you have any idea how hard Ronnie's trying to keep it together right now? He needs you by his side now more than ever. How can you live with yourself? If missing his teacher's calls makes you a failure as a mother, then what the hell does this make you?
Whether I'm there or not won't change anything. He'll be fine as long as he has you and Mr. Duncanson by his side.
You're his goddamn mother. Besides, Mr. Duncanson just went back to school. Even the vice principal stopped by to check on him earlier. How is it that everyone seems to care about Ronnie except his own mother?
Because if I do, all you'll do is attack and blame me. I just know it.
You're not coming because you're scared I'll demand an explanation, you mean? Fine. Forget it. Don't bother coming today. In fact, don't bother coming to visit him at any point ever.
Neil, please. It's not that I'm not worried about Ronnie. Please, you have to believe me.
But you're more concerned with avoiding responsibility than checking on him. So how worried can you be? You really are a failure as a mother. I'm so disappointed in you. How can you live with yourself? You know what? Forget it. If you're capable of this, nothing I say will make a difference.
Don't say things like that. Oh my God. If you're gonna say such awful, mean-spirited things, maybe I would just rather be shouted at.
I don't have another second to waste on you. I'll be calling my parents and having them come down. As for you, you can go wherever the heck you please, because you're no longer welcome at this hospital.
I'm having an affair.
Excuse me?
I have a lover. We were at a hot spring resort together today. The reason I didn't notice Mr. Duncanson's calls is because we were soaking in the hot tub together and my phone was in my bag in the other room.
You were soaking in the hot tub with your lover when your son had a serious accident? I can't believe this.
Do you see why I couldn't tell you now?
To think you didn't notice me or Mr. Duncanson trying to call you. Just how long were you soaking in the hot tub with Loverboy?
Maybe 2 or 3 hours. We rented out a private room with an open-air hot tub.
Just the two of you, huh? That sounds real nice. Well, let's be real here. You weren't just soaking in the hot tub for those 2 or 3 hours, were you? You were getting piped by Loverboy. You must have been having a real good time to forget your phone for all that time.
I noticed all the missed calls from Mr. Duncanson as soon as we got out of the tub. I found out about Ronnie's accident when I listened to the voicemails. Given how much time had passed, I figured you'd probably have heard about what happened somehow or other, and when I realized you'd be suspicious about why I wasn't at the hospital already, I didn't know what else to do, so I lied.
What you really meant is that you'd rather lose everything than risk me finding out about your sordid little affair with Loverboy. I hope you have a nice life together.
No, you're wrong. That's not true. I swear it isn't. I lied because I didn't want to destroy our happy life together. Me, you, and Ronnie, our family. I didn't want to break up our family, Neil. Please, you have to believe me.
Our happy family got destroyed the moment you decided to get piped by some other dude behind my back. We can never go back to how we were now. We're finished.
I never thought this would happen. Never in a million years would I have imagined Ronnie would have an accident while I was with him. Why did this have to happen to our Ronnie? If his teachers were watching him properly, this would have never happened. This is all Mr. Duncanson's fault.
The accident happened after school when he was on his way home. He was nowhere near the school premises. This has nothing to do with his teachers, and they bear zero responsibility. Which is why Mr. Duncanson's response was even more impressive. He rushed out as soon as he got a call from a woman whose kid goes to the school, and also happened to live down the street where the accident happened. I couldn't be more grateful for how he handled the whole situation.
But if Mr. Duncanson had been with Ronnie, this could all have been avoided.
Have you lost your mind? Why the hell would Ronnie's teacher walk him home? Stop trying to shift the blame, Fiona. As for where responsibility for the accident actually lies, I'll be discussing it later with the police and the school. Right now, I'd like to find a solution for the problem of my lying bitch wife. So tell me, how long have you been seeing Loverboy?
Something like 2 years, maybe?
How old is he?
22.
Wow, so he's a kid. So let me get this straight. You've been meeting up with your toy boy this whole time while I've been at work and Ronnie's been at school. You've been betraying me and our son for a whole 2 years.
I made a mistake.
You can say that again. And so did I for ever seeing anything in you. Sadly for you, my heart is not big enough to forgive you for this.
No, don't say that. Please, baby, find it in your heart to forgive me. I'll do anything. I'll get on my knees and beg if that's what you want. I'll do whatever you say from now on. Anything. Please forgive me. I'm begging you.
You'll do whatever I say. Oh, interesting. All right, let's see if you mean it. I want a divorce, so sign the papers. I want you out of the house as soon as Ronnie's out of hospital.
No, please, just give me one more chance. I've been a good wife to you, haven't I?
Sure. I mean, aside from lying to and betraying me and your son for 2 years straight, guess you have. But wait, that's not all. You don't have a job, do you?
Huh? Why are you asking me that all of a sudden?
Oh, forgive me for picking up on this late. I've kind of had a lot to process, you know. But whose money have you been going on hot spring resort vacations with? Something tells me it's not your kid lovers.
Well,
No way. So not only have you been cheating on me, you've been spending my hard-earned money on trips with your lover. Where the hell did you even meet someone that young?
He's an escort. I found him online and I was lonely, so I thought, why not give it a try? And I guess we kind of just clicked.
You've been seeing an escort? And how did you pay for it? Wait, no, wait. Have you been eating into our savings?
I am so sorry.
That savings account was for Ronnie's college fund. Is that how you've been funding your double life? That money was for Ronnie's future.
But if I didn't keep spending money on him, I thought he might break up with me. He started saying his schedule was full and charging extra fees for house calls.
That ain't my goddamn problem. I can't believe you've been eating into Ronnie's future to fund a sordid affair with someone who doesn't even like you. You're not going to get away with this. I'm telling your mum and dad.
No, please, I'll tell them myself.
Do you really think I can trust you to do that after everything? No doubt you'll withhold the truth from them if I don't tell them myself. Don't bother. I'll do it.
I won't lie anymore, I swear. Just what exactly do you take me for?
A traitor? A liar? A disgraceful pile of stinking human garbage.
Ugh, don't call me those horrible things. So you want to break up with me, do ya, huh? Well, you know what? I'm not attracted to you either. You're a worn-out, flabby old man, and I'd take a hot, young, muscular stud over you any day of the week. I'm breaking up with you before you can break up with me.
The only one being broken up with here is you. Let me make one thing clear. You have a duty to pay Ronnie child support until he reaches adulthood. I'll be filing compensation for the emotional distress you put me through too.
Whatever, I'll make it work somehow.
Oh, really? Do you even believe that yourself? You haven't held down a job for more than 2 weeks in your entire life. Even if you did get a job, and even if by some miracle you actually worked hard at it, you'd still be spending most of your wages on child support and compensation. Your life of luxury is over. You're deluded if you think your new life's going to be anything like the one I gave you.
Whatever, I don't care. I'll make it work somehow. I just know it.
Where does your confidence come from?
My boyfriend's kind, you know. He treats me like a princess. He reminded me what it's like to have butterflies in my stomach. It's been a long time since I felt that with you. As long as I have him, we can support each other. I don't care whether you break up with me because I don't need you anymore.
What would you say the shelf life on a male escort is? What are you going to do for money once you can't get work anymore? Have you even discussed a future together with him? Are you sure he doesn't think your relationship is something completely different to the fairy tale you seem to have built up in your head?
Huh?
Or is it more likely the case that he's only with you for my money? Is he really going to be there to support you once the money dries up? Well, I guess you'll know soon enough.
What the hell do you know about him?
Nothing. But if he had any kind of genuine feelings for you, would he really be piling on extra charges for call-outs? My guess is no. If he really liked you, he'd want to be with you irrespective of whether there was money in it for him or not. He's not your boyfriend. You're just being artificially held together by my money.
So, what are you suggesting I do? If you're going to abandon me, then who am I supposed to live with?
How about going back to your parents' place?
But if they find out about the affair, they'll disown me. You know how old-fashioned my dad is about stuff like this, right?
Alright, so live by yourself.
But, oh my God. Neil, even if we break up, you will let me see Ronnie, won't you?
Sure, if he wants to see you. But I'll be telling him exactly what you did once he's old enough to understand. So I wouldn't hold my breath. After that, I'll leave it to him to decide what he wants.
Oh my God, why would you? You're gonna try driving a wedge between me and my own son? You can't steal my boy from his mother. Ronnie is my treasure.
Oh, look who's talking. You're the one who betrayed him. Drop the doting mother act already. You couldn't even bring yourself to come to the hospital when he was seriously injured. You have no right to call yourself a mother.
Fine, you're right. I'll come to the hospital right now. I can come, can't I?
Nah, don't bother.
But me being there will help Ronnie feel better. There are things I can do for him.
You are more interested in your lover than your injured son. What could you possibly do for him? How can I entrust my injured son with someone I can't even rely on to watch their house? That night, Ronnie regained consciousness. Fiona finally came to visit him 3 days after he arrived at hospital. I just ignored her and focused on his recovery as she snuggled up to him in her phony act as the saintly mother. Finally, after Ronnie was discharged from the hospital and went back to school, me and my wife got a divorce. Personally, I would have liked to do it earlier. But I would have felt bad for Ronnie if he had to deal with his mum disappearing while he was still recovering. Apparently, after the divorce, Fiona brazenly attempted to invite herself to live on the lover's sofa. But just as I predicted, he flipped out at her and said no. He was just using her for money all along. To no one's surprise, he suddenly had no interest in my ex-wife when he found out she was up to her ears in compensation and child support payments. Ronnie made a full recovery, suffering no lasting effects from the accident, went back to school in good health and high spirits. Oh, want to hear some good news? Apparently, Mr. Duncanson's going to be his teacher next year too. Woohoo! Ronnie tells me he was always there for him to help him catch up on his studies when he went back to school. He really is a great guy. Also, being fully aware of the situation between me and Ronnie's wayward mother, he also provided him with emotional support. Not only that, but apparently he also asks after me. Is your dad alright? Is he sleeping properly? Can you believe it? What a guy. I burst into tears when I got a letter from him after the whole thing had blown over. In it, he wrote how he understood how hard the whole ordeal must have been on me, and that if I ever needed someone to talk to, he'd be there. I decided to take him up on his offer, which means me and Mr. Duncanson, or Steve as I call him now, going out for a beer next week. Hey Megan, how are things on your end? Are folks treating you good?
Yeah, all fine here. What about you, Tucker? You're doing all the housework on your own now, right? I know there's a first time for everything, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a tad worried.
Oh, so you do know how much I suck at housework then. I'm pleased. I got my mom to come clean the place. So it's pretty much the same as it was when you left.
You're relying on your mom again? Come on, Tucker. You're gonna have to start doing things for yourself eventually. She isn't gonna be fit and healthy enough to clean up after you forever, you know? You never help me out when I'm around either. I get you might not be as good at doing housework as me, but are you sure you're not using that as an excuse to get out of doing it? I mean, it's really not that hard. It's not easy running a household while being pregnant, you know?
You think I don't have a business of my own to take care of? I have a job myself, you know? I'm too busy to help out and can't be helped. Anyway, how's our little one been lately? He's still kicking you all the time? He'll be set to give birth soon, right?
Really sly, Tucker. Impressive. Don't think I don't notice when you change the subject like that. I've never known anyone who avoids things they don't want to discuss as much as you do. If there was a contest for it, you'd win first prize. I really wish you wouldn't do that.
Sorry. Anyway, how is he? You are taking good care of our boy, right?
The doctors at the hospital said he's doing great. Apparently, we'll be able to go ahead with the birth as planned as long as I keep resting up like they advised me to.
I see. That's great news. I haven't been able to see you since you went back to your mom and dad's place. I'm really relieved to hear that.
I'm glad you're relieved. But you're going to be a dad soon, Tucker. You do realize that, right? How are you going to keep up with the responsibilities of having a little boy if you can't even watch the house without relying on your mom to clean up after you? I won't be able to do things at my usual pace after the birth, you know. If you're going to be a parent, at the very least, you need to fulfill your bare minimum of responsibilities as a dad.
Yeah, well, about that. I'm doing my part by putting money into the bank and food on the table, right? Anyway, am I really going to be a dad soon? I can't believe it. My mom's going to be over the moon.
I hope she is.
What's that supposed to mean? Why'd you always get so lukewarm whenever we talk about my mom?
Let's face it, Tucker, your mom's hardly my number one fan, is she? She complains at me every time she stops by the house. Part of me wonders whether she'll ever truly be happy for us.
This is her grandson. Her own flesh and blood we're talking about here. Of course she'll be happy. That said, it's not like I can't see where she's coming from. Her housewife skills do kind of suck, you know?
Hey, this isn't the time for joking around. Your mom stops by the house all the time. But I feel uncomfortable whenever she's around because of her pointed comments and snide remarks. I can't help but have my guard up with her.
Jeez, don't be so hard on her. It's not like she does it out of malice or ill will. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Did you think about that little thing we discussed yet?
What thing?
I mentioned it before, right? About my mom moving in with us. How her lives are about to be turned upside down when her son's born, right? We could do with the extra pair of hands. I don't think it's a bad idea at all.
This again, Tucker? Really? How many times do I have to say no before you'll respect my opinion? I'm sorry, I know she's your mom, and I can tell you're really eager about the idea, but I just can't live in the same house as her.
But why?
Did you listen to a word I said just now? I'd never be able to relax again if she lived with us.
Jeez, is that seriously the only reason you keep saying no? Don't you think you're being a little too selfish on this one?
You're trying to force me to do something I clearly don't want to do just to lighten your own burden once our son's born. Which of us is being selfish, really? Your mom has no qualms about bossing me around despite the fact I'm heavily pregnant. Do you really think she'll let up once I'm recovering after the birth? Why am I even saying this? You already know.
Bossing you around? Why'd you have to make her sound like such a tyrant? She ain't that bad. All she does is ask you for favors every now and then.
Well, from where I'm standing, it feels like being bossed around. What's worse, I can see you watching from the sidelines and snickering to yourself whenever she does it. You can't seriously think I'd be okay with her moving in with us when she treats me like that.
What? Is there nothing I can say to change your mind on this?
Why does it have to be so soon? I don't see the harm in waiting until everything's settled down with our son after the birth. This is happening, Tucker, and soon. We're not going to have the time to deal with your mom on top of everything else.
Admit it. You just don't want to have to put up with being told off every now and then, do you? I mean, seriously. You almost make it sound like she's in the wrong. I just can't accept that as an answer when there would be so many benefits to having her around.
If that's what you think, then that's fine by me. But I'm simply not ready to have your mom move in with us so soon, and that's my final word on it. If you actually started doing things around the house by helping me out with the housework and things, I'd probably change my mind.
You're always so quick to point the finger. You think that's fair?
It's the truth. Listen to me, the bottom line here is that I'm opposed to your mom moving in with us. My mom's calling me, I gotta go. Speak tomorrow. Night, Tucker. Tucker, are you at home right now?
No, just got off from work. I'm on the train. What's wrong? Did something happen?
No, I just need to ask you something. Did you let your mom move in with us without saying anything to me?
What makes you think that?
It was around midday today. I asked my mom to go pick up some bits from the house for me. You were at work then, right? So there shouldn't have been anyone home. But my mom said she saw your mom coming out of the house.
Oh, that's nothing. I already told you, remember? About how she's been stopping by to help out with the housework while you're away at your folks. That's all.
Then why did your mom tell mine she moved in with us? Explain yourself.
Cat out of the bag already. Well, ideally, she was supposed to keep quiet about all this till you came home. Guess she just couldn't resist.
Wow. So you really did invite her to live with us. I can't believe you do this to me, Tucker. Does what I want mean absolutely nothing to you? I told you countless times I don't want to live with her. Why would you go and do this behind my back?
What choice did I have? Whenever I tried bringing it up, you were vehemently against it. I figured you wouldn't be able to complain if I moved her in secret while you were away at your parents' place.
You were so desperate to get your own way that you lied to me? What the hell is with you? I can't believe you did this.
But still, we're where we are now. So it can't be helped. It's just like that wise man once said. There's no use crying over spilled milk, right, babe? Right? Besides, my mom had been stopping by pretty much every day to do the housework while you were away. For all intents and purposes, she already lived with us. It's just more formal now. So, quit your complaining.
That's not the point. And who do you think you are talking to me like that? That's supposed to be our marital home. Why would you let your mom move in with us despite me making it abundantly clear that I hated the idea?
Sure, it might technically be our marital home, but who's the one paying the rent? Here's a hint. It's me. Plus, my mom was really eager about the whole thing. She was asking me if you'd change your mind like 5 times a day, and to be honest, I kinda got bored of it. Sure, so you did nothing but stubbornly refuse, but that doesn't change the fact I was the one who had to deal with my phone constantly buzzing. So yeah, we did have to use some mildly coercive measures and a sprinkle of deception to push it through, so shoot me. You do realize you left us no choice, right?
No choice? Oh, you had a choice, Tucker. Do you have any idea how much of an impact this is going to have on our lives from here on out? You had no right to decide something like this on your own. This isn't how being married works.
I can't believe this is the attitude you get with me after I so kindly entertained your selfishness and let you move back in with mommy and daddy for the birth. You think you get to take advantage of my kindness while ignoring my policy for what's best for the family? Your selfishness knows no bounds. Man, I'm sick of this crap.
Why do you think I wanted to go back to my folks' place in the first place? Like I told you before, I was doing all of the housework while heavily pregnant every single day. I even had to tolerate your mom's bullshit on the weekends. Anyone in their right mind would want to move in with their parents in that situation.
Why not just say what you're really thinking? Go on, you're accusing me of not helping you, ain't you? Let's hear the truth, Megan. God, you're always so quick to point the finger at me. You really grind my gears sometimes, woman. There's no talking to you.
How about trying to improve for once instead of attacking me at every opportunity? Do you know how it feels to be this pregnant? I was running the entire household while being barely able to move and putting up with intermittent bouts of morning sickness. But in spite of that, the pair of you had absolutely no issue with treating me like your live-in slave. Is it any wonder I don't want her to move in with us?
That's it. I've had it with you. You know, Megan, I've wanted to call you out on your bullshit for a long time now. But you think you're so goddamn special just because you're carrying a baby in your belly, don't you?
What? What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I'm pregnant so I can't do housework. Wow, your mom is mean to me and I don't like talking to her. Wow. I don't want to live with her because she's mean. God, it's like being married to a big freaking baby. I wanted to say this for ages now, but you think being pregnant gives you the right to boss everyone around, don't you? You forgetting who puts a roof over your head? Who puts the food on the table? Not for me, you wouldn't be able to live. Do not bite the hand that feeds you, woman.
Oh my God. Is this what you really think of me?
Duh. Of course it is. You're a stay-at-home housewife. Do you even know what that means? You wouldn't even be able to eat if not for me. And yet you can't even get in line. Do what I say.
Wow. I guess I'm finally seeing your true colors. I had no idea you were like this.
Right back at you. Didn't know you were so selfish. God damn it, woman. This conversation is starting to piss me off now. You know what? If the idea of living with my mom is so unbearable for you, how about we get a divorce?
Whoa, what the hell? So you invite your mom to live with us behind my back and then threaten to divorce because I'm upset about it? You're unreal. I'll be giving birth to our son soon, for crying out loud. We're gonna be parents soon, Tucker. How can you so casually suggest divorce like that?
It's your fault for not doing as I say. If you don't like it, then get in line. Besides, the only one who would suffer if we divorced is you. I don't care either way.
You changed when I got pregnant, Tucker. You wouldn't even joke about things like this before. Even with your mom, you didn't seem to be that concerned about her when we first met. But now you're inseparable for some reason. What gives?
She said something to me that stuck. If you're gonna be a father, then you can't let that wife of yours walk all over you. I did nothing but compromise until you got pregnant. When my mom said that to me, I stopped and I thought, well, then I realized, why do I let you walk all over me? That's when I decided, time to change.
Right. So basically, what your mom tells you is more important than your own wife? Is that how things are always going to be between us?
Not necessarily always, but of course I'm going to prioritize her sometimes. She's my mom, for crying out loud. Go on, I'm waiting. This is where you start giving me crap again, isn't it? Just know that if you carry on with your incessant whining, you're gonna get divorced. If that's what you want, then go ahead.
This is pointless. I need some time to get my thoughts together. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, but make it quick. It's not like you have a right to choose or any say in the decisions we make, but if thinking on it for a little while is gonna make you happy, then knock yourself out. Think to your heart's content, sweet cheeks.
I will.
Megan, it's been a week since you gave birth now, right? You gonna hurry up and come home soon? My mom wants to meet her grandson already.
My daughter and grandson are gone. I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, but I need you to let your mother know she'll never meet her grandson.
Oh, well, wait. What? Your daughter and grandson? What are you talking about? Wait, is that Megan's mom? Beatrice?
Yes, it is. Thank you for all you've done for my daughter, but those are the circumstances.
Wait a sec. Those are the circumstances? You gotta be joking. Megan and my son are gone?
How you interpret that is entirely up to you. But the fact of the matter is that Megan and her son are gone, which means they'll never be coming home to you.
No, seriously, I've got no idea what you're talking about. She only just gave birth. I was there. I met my son, Billy. They were both totally fine when I saw them a week ago.
They were both involved in an accident immediately after being discharged from the hospital. I got the impression Megan had been awfully stressed out lately. I think that must have been what caused it.
Stress? Wait, assuming she got into an accident because she was stressed? With my newborn son?
She went out with Billy and never came back. I can only assume it happened because she was distracted by worry and hadn't been paying attention to her surroundings.
I see. Okay. I think I understand the situation now. But still, why didn't you get in touch with me immediately when she didn't come back? This is my wife and son we're talking about here.
This isn't a discussion I wanted to have with you, but the accident was your fault. As Megan's mother, I'll never forgive you for what you did to her. That's why I didn't get in touch.
My fault? What the heck's that supposed to mean?
You let your mother move into your house without Megan's permission. She was perpetually stressed and anxious because of you. You messed with her head so much that she could barely focus on what was going on around her. You made her so scatterbrained that she got into an accident. Do you understand the gravity of what you've done now?
No way. Can't be. All I wanted was to live with my mom. I never meant to send Megan over the edge.
You can drop the act before you waste any more energy trying to feed me your pack of lies. I heard all about you and your mother from Megan. The both of you treated my heavily pregnant daughter like your live-in slave and drove her to the depths of despair. That's why she didn't want your mother to move in with you. You completely ignored my daughter's feelings time and time again.
But I explained the circumstances behind my mom moving to Megan herself. Sure, I guess she wasn't overly eager about the idea, but I had no idea it'd cause her so much worry.
You've got some nerve, boy. You threatened to divorce her if she didn't shut up and do exactly as you told her. It was hard enough for her without your mother living with you, just with her occasional visits, let alone being under the same roof as her 24/7. You can't seriously be claiming you didn't think that would stress her out.
Sure, I guess it kind of makes sense when you put it out like that.
Let me guess, you didn't think she'd actually divorce you, did you? You thought you had her so completely and utterly dependent on you that she'd have no choice but to subserviently obey everything you told her to do. What with the timing of the birth, you probably saw her as a helpless plaything in the palm of your hand. It's only natural that divorce would be difficult for a woman in her situation after all.
No, I didn't think that, not even for a second, no way.
Actions speak louder than words, boy. The fact that you thought you could get away with such an extreme act of betrayal tells me all I need to know about what you really think of my daughter. Well, stop and take a look at the consequences of your cowardly plan. It's time to accept the reality of what you've done. I think it's time you reevaluated your relationship with your mother. Goodbye.
Megan, I'm so sorry. I know this doesn't make up for anything, but I told my mom I never want to see her again. But I at least wanted to go to your funeral. God damn it. I'm sorry for being such a piece of crap, husband. I failed you, baby.
My funeral? What are you talking about? I'm doing totally fine.
Huh? Megan? How are you replying to me?
I'm not sure how to answer that. I got some weird messages all of a sudden, so I'm replying. That's all. Anyway, what are you talking about? My funeral? When was that?
But your mom told me you and our son were dead.
I know what she said. I saw the chat logs. But she never said we were dead, did she? She just said we were gone. She definitely didn't mention anything about a funeral.
Huh? What else was I gonna think? Plus, she said you guys were in an accident. Are you okay?
Jeez, don't be so dramatic. We just got into a little bump with another car while I was out driving, that's all. Don't get me wrong, it was a shock, and there is a little dent in the bumper, but I'm not injured at all. I didn't even go to the hospital. Wow, it looks like my mom had you terrified.
Yes, this is your mom's fault. She made it sound like you got into an accident and died. Why would she lie to me like that?
But my mom didn't lie at all. Sure, her choice of wording might have been confusing, but she didn't lie.
She didn't? But she said you were never coming home. Oh my god, I told my mom I never wanted to see her again based on a frickin' lie. What the hell? How does what she did not constitute lying?
Like I said, it was just a light bump, so neither of us are injured at all. But we were actually in an accident.
Yeah, you just told me that. But no matter what you say, she 100% categorically, beyond any shadow of a doubt, lied to me. She told me you guys were never coming home.
Yep, it's true. Why would I? I have no intention of living with you.
Huh? What are you talking about?
When she said we were gone, she meant that I was gone from your life. Insofar as being your wife and son, we are gone, and we're never coming back. So as long as I have no intention of coming back to live with you in that house, we're gone. Therefore, the use of the word gone was totally appropriate on my mom's part. Do you understand now?
She shouldn't play with words like that. But why? You still haven't told me why. What on earth would possess you to do something so drastic?
Didn't you just answer your own question? Because you misinterpreted my mom's messages and broke off ties with your mom. It was to make you do that.
What? I don't understand what's happening here at all. Why would you want to trick me into breaking ties with my mom?
Because you neglected me and your son, and used the fact that I was pregnant as leverage to prioritize your mom, who hates me, over our marriage. Thinking that I'd have no choice but to shut up and tolerate whatever you did to me. Do you really think my mom would forgive a lowlife like you?
Wait, so the whole thing was a plot to take revenge on me?
Bingo! And you fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
This is not a laughing matter. How do you plan on making this right? My mom genuinely thinks that you and our son are dead.
That's great. It's better for us if she carries on thinking that. She was spamming me with hateful messages after the divorce, too. To be honest, I am absolutely sick of her.
Wait, what? The divorce? Are you serious? After all I've done for you? Is everything I've done for this marriage still not enough for you?
How many times do I have to tell you we're never coming home? And what do you mean after all you've done for me?
I just cut off ties with my own frickin' mother for you. Surely that's enough to make things right between us.
You mean the slave-driving mother you invited into our home against my wishes? You mean acting like a shameless lowlife who wouldn't even help me with the simple things around the house while I was heavily pregnant? What planet are you on? How could you even think it's possible to make things right after everything you've put me through? You really think telling your mom to get lost makes this right?
I guess, that depends on how you look at it.
Well, from where I'm standing, it doesn't make it right, and nothing ever could. That's why, on top of the divorce, you'll also be paying me child support until Billy's an adult. I take it you have no problems with that?
Give me a break. I have nothing but problems with it.
And who's the one who forced me to put you in this situation? You only have yourself to blame. I did tell you, didn't I? That if you were going to become a parent, you needed to fulfill your bare minimum of responsibilities as a dad. Well, it's finally time to step up and pay child support. After that, Tucker and I got a divorce, and the whole thing went by without a hitch. Based on the fact that Billy had just been born, neither of us yet had any experience with childcare. However, me being his mom and having access to the strong support network of my amazing mom and dad, and being able to live with them at their house worked heavily in my favor, which meant I ended up winning full custody of our son. Of course, my domineering ex-husband is still paying me child support. I heard that Tucker showed up in floods of tears on his mom's doorstep after the divorce, explaining why he did what he did and apologizing profusely. Apparently, they ended up patching things up. To be honest, I had a feeling that was how it was going to end all along. So the little stunt me and my mom pulled was only ever for amusement, but I tell ya, it sure was satisfying. I feel so grateful that I was able to get myself out of that situation. I can only imagine what a living hell my life would be if I didn't divorce. Stuck under the same roof as my controlling husband and the wicked stepmother from hell. Hearing about how Tucker made up with his mom actually reminded me of how fortunate I am. So I can't say I'm bothered by the fact that she forgave him. As for Billy and I, we're currently living with my parents at their house, and we're having a blast. I have no idea what kind of impact not having a dad might have on him as he grows up. But even still, I don't regret the divorce one bit. Not having a dad just means I'll have to love him enough for two.
I thought we agreed that it's just going to be the two of us today, Ava and me. Why did you also come, Ella? I wanted to spend time with my daughter, not you.
I think the reason is pretty clear, Sam. I had to make sure that you didn't kidnap Ava. You may be planning to take her away from me.
God, Ella, do you think I'll do something like that? I'm not a psycho. And Ava is already in 8th grade. It's important to be protective of her. But I wouldn't be able to take her by force. She seems like she's maturing up so fast, too. If I ever try to do something to her by force, she'll clearly tell me no. I think you're being too sensitive.
No, I don't think so. I'm just being a good mother to her. I don't want her to be in any danger. Ava still thinks you're her father, although we got divorced. To be honest, I don't want her to think that we're still a family. And Ava is still a middle schooler. She's still a little kid, in my opinion. She's not capable of protecting herself yet. She trusts you for some reason, so there's a possibility of her simply following you home if you talk her into doing so.
I look for the day that I can meet my precious daughter every month, but you ruin all the fun by coming along. What's the point of us getting divorced if I see you regularly? You get to see Ava every day because you live with her, but I only get to see her once a month. I thought we agreed on this when we got divorced. I know you're worried about her as a mother, but you're being too sensitive.
I'm just trying to be responsible and protect her from the dangers because I'm her mother. Just stop complaining, will you? I've already gotten remarried, so Ava has a new father figure. She doesn't need you to be her father anymore. I honestly don't want her to see you regularly. I don't see the point of doing so.
I'm thankful that you're allowing me to see her every month. Don't get me wrong. By the way, is Ava getting along with her new father well? Does she feel awkward to be around him?
It's none of your business. Why do I have to tell you about my private matters?
I wanted to ask Ava about her relationship with her new father, but I didn't get a chance to because you were also with us today. We did get a divorce, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm Ava's new father. It's also my business because it's about Ava. I also have to make sure she's not stressed. I also want to help her.
They're both doing fine. They have a good father-daughter relationship, so there's nothing you have to be worried about. And to be honest, he's a way better father than you. It's not just me who benefited from our divorce. Ava doesn't need you as her father anymore. Just accept the truth, Sam.
That's good to hear. But who do you think you are to laugh at me like that? You're the one who cheated on me during our marriage and ruined our family.
But I still got custody over Ava, for you. I may have been the one who cheated on you, but at least the court thought I deserved the right to live with Ava. I guess you really lack the ability to be a good father. It's too late to be sarcastic to me, Sam. You should accept how lacking you were as a father.
The fact that you cheated isn't really taken into account when the court decides which parent gets custody. I've heard that the mother tends to get custody over the child when the parents get divorced, but I still can't understand why you got that right. I just don't get why the court decided you would be a better parent for Ava after what you did to our family.
I don't care. Say whatever you want. It's none of my business. It's too late to complain anyway. The court has made the decision, and we agreed.
I know. I'm powerless no matter what I say. By the way, Ella, there's something I wanted to ask you. What happened to Ava's foot? It was bandaged pretty heavily. She told me she got hurt during her club activities. But is she telling me the truth?
Yes, obviously. Why would she lie to you? I don't understand why you're being suspicious when Ava is the one who told you that. You believed her when she told you. Why check with me now?
Well, she looked like she was trying hard to convince me that she really got hurt at school. I thought she was acting a bit weird. If I remember correctly, Ava isn't part of any sports team. Her club isn't related to sport, is it? How could she hurt her leg so badly if she doesn't play sports?
She decided to join a sports team after we got divorced. It's just that, okay? Kids get hurt all the time, so don't freak out.
But Ava never told me about joining a sports team. I never knew she was athletic.
Why does she have to tell her divorced father everything? It's up to her what to tell you or not. I bet she thinks you're annoying and was probably too tired to tell you about it. Can't you leave her alone?
Is that why she's not texting me back like she used to? She used to text me back whenever I sent her messages. I don't think she's the type to ignore text, though.
Ava is maturing, and she's in her adolescence. Just let her be and keep a distance from her, okay? I bet you don't really get how she's maturing up every day because you don't live with her. She's got a lot on her mind. Let her figure it out on her own.
Really? I can be a good listener if she wants someone to talk to. She looked like she had something she wanted to tell me, but she ended up not telling me anything. I think she needs someone to talk to. So I don't think it's all about her being a teen. Are you sure Ava's doing okay? Have you heard anything from her?
Gosh, Sam, I'm telling you that she's completely fine. Remember, you're her ex-father, okay? She has a new father she can rely on. Make sure to keep a good distance from her. Both Ava and I are happy with our new family. Leave us alone, Sam. Don't ruin our happiness we finally found. You're not part of our family anymore.
I'm just worried about my daughter. I'm still her real father, Ella. Please, Ella, promise me you'll be a good parent.
You don't have to tell me that. I already know. Goodbye, Sam.
Dad? Dad? Are you there? I'm so sorry, but I don't think I can be with Mom anymore. I don't want to be here.
Ava, what's wrong? Did you have a fight with your mom? You can tell me everything, Ava.
It's way worse than that. Mom only listens to what her new husband says. She never listens to what I have to say. She's never on my side. She doesn't protect me at all. Do you remember my bandaged leg when we met the other day? I lied. I didn't get hurt during my club activities. Actually, it was my new dad who hurt me.
Your new dad hurt you? Is he being violent to you? Are you all right, Ava? What is he thinking? I thought he was being a good father to you.
He hates me because I'm not his real daughter. I don't think he ever saw me as his daughter. He always hits me or kicks me whenever I try to object to what he says. He expects me to follow all his orders because I'm his daughter.
Did you tell Mom about this? What did she say?
Dad, I told you she's never on my side. She only listens to what he says. She's obedient to her new husband. She's just there watching me get hurt when he gets violent with me. There's no point in seeking her help. I think she doesn't want to get involved.
Okay, so this is what you wanted to tell me when we met the other day. You weren't able to tell me because your mom was with you, right? I guess she came along to watch you.
When we just moved in to live with him, there weren't any problems. We were just a normal family. But then, he recently started being violent with me all of a sudden. I'm so confused and scared. I wanted to tell you and ask for your help, but Mom obviously didn't want you to get involved. She knew that I'll ask for your help. That's why she took my phone away.
I get it now. That's why you didn't reply to my messages. How do you have your phone now? Did she give it back to you?
No, I forcefully got it back. I can't live like that any longer. I'm on my way to your house now, Dad. You have to help me. I ran out of the house just after I forcefully got my phone back from Mom, so I didn't even have time to wear my shoes. I'm completely barefoot right now.
Okay, now I know what's going on. I bet it was really hard for you, Ava.
Nah, I'm okay, Dad. It's not a big deal. Dad, I have a favor to ask you.
Sure thing. What's wrong, Ava?
I arrived at the nearest station to your house. I want you to come and pick me up. It's too far for me to walk, and I don't have enough money to get a taxi. Please, Dad, I need your help. I can't live with Mom any longer. Please, let me live with you.
Sorry, Ava. I don't think I can do that for you. Go home, now. If you can catch the train now, you'll be home before it gets too dark.
What? Why? I don't get it. Why? Why are you making me go back there? Dad, I thought you loved me. I thought you would do anything for my happiness.
Yes, I love you, Ava. But there's nothing I can do for you right now. Go home.
Wait, you can't just make me go back. Why are you so mean to me? How can you make me go back to that place? I really need your help, please.
Go home now, Ava. You have to go back to Mom.
Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't follow your orders. I just can't go back there. I can't stay there any longer. I'm right in front of your house. Dad, I'm at the door. Can you open the lock for me?
I can't open the lock for you, Ava. I won't let you in. You should go home. I won't take back what I said.
How can you say that to me? Why, Dad? Why? If you don't help me, what am I supposed to do? I really have nowhere to go. You have to help me, Dad. Please open the door.
I told you, Ava, there's nothing I can do for you right now. Ava, listen to me. You have to go home. I'm not going to let you in. If you go home like I said, I'll buy you ice cream next time we meet.
What? Do you think it's funny? I don't need ice cream. I'm not a little kid. Can you imagine how I feel when I'm back at home? I've never felt so miserable in my life.
When you were little, I used to buy you ice cream. Remember? Those were the good old times. Let's go get some ice cream like we used to. Try remembering the time I bought you ice cream while you go back home, okay?
All right. I guess it was a mistake trusting you. I never thought you were this mean. I'm gonna go home now. Bye.
Good girl. Be careful on your way home. It's getting dark outside. I'll buy you ice cream when we meet next time. It's a promise between you and Dad. Pinky promise.
Okay. Pinky promise.
Hey, Ella. Ava texted me a while ago. She told me she was around my neighborhood. Apparently, she came here alone. Did you have a fight with her? I was wondering why she came all alone.
No, it's nothing serious. We were having a normal conversation when Ava suddenly got angry and ran out of the house. She's being a moody teen, that's all. You told her to come back home, right? I know that, so you don't have to text me like this.
I did tell her to go home, but why did you know? I just asked you what happened. I don't remember telling you what I told her.
I just figured. You're texting me like this, so I figured that you made her go back home. What? Did I do anything wrong? I don't understand why you're being like this.
Calm down, Ella. I'm just checking. I told Ava to go home a while ago. She should be arriving soon. It shouldn't take her too long to get home.
Okay, thanks. Is that all you wanted to say? Can we end this conversation here? I'm busy and I don't have time to waste on you.
I don't want to butt into your family matters, but I think you should take better care of Ava. She's still in middle school, but decided to come to my house all alone at this time. It's definitely not the safest thing to do. You're her mother. You should help her out before she gets too stressed.
It's none of your business. You don't even live with her and take care of her. What do you even know about the best way to look after children?
Okay. I'll shut up now. By the way, can I ask you one last thing before you go? Your husband has blonde hair, doesn't he?
What? Why are you suddenly asking me about my husband's hair color? That's really none of your business.
Wasn't he blonde? Or did I see wrong? When I caught you cheating on me with him, I remember him being blonde, though.
Are you still nagging me about the fact that I cheated on you long ago? What if he's blonde? What's that got to do with you?
I bet he stands out whenever he goes. It is so blonde that it almost looks like gold. He'll still stand out even when he's driving his car. He'll literally be glowing through the car window.
What point are you trying to make?
Nothing, really. I was just curious, that's all. Well, I guess he has his hardships. It must be hard to suddenly become a father of a teenage daughter.
Gosh, Sam, what's the point of this conversation? It's none of your business, okay? If that's all you wanted to say, I'm leaving.
Ella, I'm not finished yet. He's tired from his work, and he's still getting used to a new lifestyle with a wife and daughter. He must feel irritated at times. No, he might get so stressed to the point where he takes his irritation out on someone. If that happens, you have to support him as his wife, okay?
Sam, who do you think you are? Are you looking down on us? I really don't get why you're telling me all this. What's the point?
Ella, I'm trying to tell you that it's your responsibility to make sure everything's going smoothly between Ava and your husband. You have to do something when they're having problems. It's your responsibility to support both your husband and daughter. Be a good wife and mother. You have to keep a close eye on them so that nothing serious happens. It might be too late to fix it if you're not careful enough. It makes me worried as Ava's father. You have to be a good mother for Ava. Okay, Ella, do you get it?
You don't have to tell me that. I know that very well as her mother, and this is none of your business. We're not related anymore, so leave my family alone.
I just wanted to make sure. See you, Ella. Take care of Ava. Make sure you fulfill your role as a mother.
Hey, Sam, talk to me now. Where the hell did you take Ava?
What do you mean? I thought Ava went home yesterday.
She's nowhere in the house when I woke up this morning. You must have taken her somewhere. I know you're the culprit.
Great. She must have understood my message yesterday.
What the hell are you talking about?
Why do you sound so panicked? When Ava left the house yesterday, you sounded weirdly calm. You sounded very calm when I text you, as if you knew everything already.
Why are you like this today? It's not that different from yesterday. Sam, my daughter went missing. Why would I be calm? Don't be so stupid.
Oops, sorry. I guess the software you installed in Ava's phone isn't working anymore. No wonder you're panicking. I bet you have no idea where she is now.
Software? What are you talking about?
Don't pretend like you don't know. I guess that you installed something in Ava's phone so you can keep track of her actions. You wanted to make sure that she didn't tell me something that she wasn't supposed to say.
What? I don't understand what you're talking about. Do you have proof?
When Ava texted me yesterday, I saw that your husband was also in the front of my house. I realized right away that it was him. His blonde hair really stands out.
So what? He must have passed by on his way home from work.
He was parked in front of my house for half an hour. Looks pretty suspicious, huh? You knew that Ava was heading to my house from the app, so you planned to catch her before she got there, right?
You're just imagining things. Stop blaming me for something I've never done.
Well, it's not my imagination. My parents just texted me that Ava's under their protection right now. Apparently, there was an app on Ava's phone that she didn't recognize. She said she never installed that app on her phone. I looked up what the app was for, and it said that detectives often use them for investigations. There's no proof that I was the one who installed it on her phone. Ava might have forgotten that she installed it long ago. Why would a teen install that on her own phone?
Shut up. You told Ava to go home yesterday, but now you're suddenly taking her to your parents' house? What the hell are you thinking?
I don't think that I told you about my conversation with Ava yesterday. Why do you know that I told her to go home? You're ignoring me now. I guess you admit that you installed the app. I bet you were keeping an eye on her using your computer. I can't believe you were surveilling your own daughter. You're violating her privacy. What the hell were you thinking, Ella?
Did I have any other choice? I was worried she might tell you things. You should be the one to explain to me about what you did to Ava yesterday. You were so mean to her when she told you she wanted to come over.
It was all an act to make you believe that I clearly told her no. I know you've been watching our conversations too.
But it's the undeniable truth that you said no to her and hurt her feelings. You should have just taken her in yesterday if you wanted her under your protection. What's the point of doing it now?
I told you, Ella. Your husband was in front of my house yesterday watching everything. If I decide to let her in my house, would your husband ever allow me to do that?
He would have stopped you, obviously. He is Ava's father. He has to protect her from you. It's obvious. Why would you ask?
Yeah, I thought so. I know it's obvious. If he doesn't stop Ava from coming into my house, she might tell me everything about your family, and you both wouldn't want that. You both could get arrested for what you've been doing to Ava. You'll do whatever you can to take Ava away from you. You have to keep her near you, to keep an eye on her.
Arrested? What are you talking about?
I thought you already knew about what Ava texted me yesterday. I know everything now. I know what you've been doing to Ava. It's obvious that I'll call the police and report the case of child abuse now that I know how she's being treated at your house.
But you didn't say a thing about calling the police yesterday.
Yeah, of course I wouldn't. You both didn't take Ava away from me by force yesterday. You thought you didn't have to make a big deal because I rejected her openly, even after I got to know what was going on.
So what? What are you trying to say here?
I had to make sure you both had no idea that I was reporting it to the police. That's why I acted like that yesterday. If not, your husband might have hurt Ava right there. He would have probably done anything to stop me from calling the police. I had to get rid of all the dangers that might have resulted in hurting Ava.
But why would Ava go to your parents' house after what you've done to her? She doesn't know that you were acting. The only thing you told her yesterday, apart from telling her to go home, was about ice cream. Why would Ava understand your plan?
Before we got divorced, I used to buy Ava ice cream in secret without telling you.
So what? What's that got to do with this?
You were pretty strict about Ava eating junk food and sugary stuff. So whenever I brought up the topic of ice cream in our conversation, we would go buy ice cream together in secret the next day. We would sneak out when you weren't looking.
So the reason why Ava was gone this morning before I realized?
Whenever I told her that I'll buy her ice cream, it means that I'll be going somewhere together, in secret, without you knowing. So Ava figured everything out when I texted her about ice cream yesterday and sneaked out of the house today.
What were you going to do if she didn't get the message?
I was worried about that too, but she still remembered the memories she had with me, even after we got divorced. She figured it out right away. Ava's really smart, isn't she? I can't believe our child grew up to be this smart.
So Ava is really with you right now? You said something about reporting it to the police and so on. But you're joking, right? You have to be kidding.
I can't forgive both of you and your husband for hurting my precious daughter, and you for just letting it go on as if it was no big deal. And you even installed an app on your daughter's phone without her permission, just to make sure your crimes weren't revealed. You both can't call yourselves a parent, honestly.
Sam, you have to stop. Don't call the police. I'm Ava's real mother.
But you don't act like one. You don't have the right to call yourself a mother at this point, and I don't think you have to be so pessimistic.
I'm about to get arrested by the police? How can I not be pessimistic about my future? You're about to ruin my family again.
Well, your husband's already in the hands of the police. He just got arrested. You'll get to be with him soon. You won't be alone, so don't worry.
What? He's already arrested? What happened? What's going on?
I bet you remember your wedding vows. You said it twice at the wedding. To have and to hold, for this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and health, to love and to cherish, until we are parted by death. You love him so much that you cheated on me and got remarried after our divorce. You should be with him at all times, even at his worst. You promised to God, remember? Shortly after our conversation over text, Ella was taken by the police, who arrived at her doorstep. Their crimes were all revealed, and they were sent to jail for child abuse. They honestly deserve that, after what they've been doing to Ava. Ava has been physically and mentally hurt by them. I bet they're keeping their promise to be with each other at all times, behind the walls in jail. Now that both Ava's parents are arrested, I got custody over her, and I finally got the right to live with my precious daughter. Now the two of us live together, and we're both enjoying a very peaceful life. After Ava moved in with me, I realized the reason why she was maturing so quickly. Living with Ella and her abusive husband left Ava with no other choice but to grow up emotionally to protect herself. For Ava, maturing emotionally was a way to protect herself in a harsh environment. She knew with her instincts that she wouldn't survive if she acted like a child. After Ava moved in with me, she began to laugh a lot and also cry a lot. I'm guessing that she's finally able to act according to her age, now that she's in a relaxing environment. I never knew how happy it makes me feel to see my daughter acting according to her age. It was also painful to watch her maturing so quickly, not by choice, but by force. I promised myself to protect Ava and to be the best parent I can be so that she can grow up at her own pace.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.